001. Boom. Lin Tian walked to the door of the head teacher's independent office and knocked softly. Please come in. A soft and sweet female voice came from inside. Lin Tian pushed the door and entered. I saw Xiaolan, the head teacher, tidying up the lesson plans and documents on the table, obviously something to do. Xiaolan looked up at the person who came in. Student Lin Tian, what can you do for me? Lin Tian nodded. Mr. Xia, I have something important to report to you. Xiaolan glanced at Lin Tian again. If she remembered correctly, the student in front of her seemed to have awakened to her career in life a few days ago. In the class I lead, most of them have failed to awaken, and they can only be ordinary people for the rest of their lives. And Lin Tian is already one of the few people who have successfully awakened. This is why Xiaolan has an impression of Lin Tian. The only pity is that Lin Tian's awakening is not the main battle class. Rather, it is the awakening of a life profession. More than 100 years ago, Blue Star was invaded by games into reality. The area of Blue Star has expanded more than 10 times, and all people and things are completely digitized. Today, the high and low levels of society have changed from rich and poor to professionals and ordinary people. The world pattern has been completely reshuffled. The composition of human society has also been completely subverted. The most popular ones now are of course those who have awakened the main combat profession. The main battle professional almost has no worries about food and clothing for a lifetime, and there is still the possibility of further becoming stronger. The second is life professionals. Although the life professions are not as bright as the main battle professions, at least they have a skill. In this era of catastrophe, they can support their families and not starve to death. But that's all there is to it. It may be impossible to continue to upgrade and become stronger for the rest of his life. Xiaolan did not put down the information in her hand. She really has important things to do. But after all, she is Lin Tian's head teacher. So she still packed up her things and asked, if there is anything important, just tell me. Lin Tian cut to the chase. Teacher, when I awakened as a life professional a few days ago, I awakened a talent, by the way. Xiaolan frowned upon hearing this. He smiled and said, not bad. Student Lin Tian, talent awakening is very rare. What level of talent is it? Can you tell the teacher? When most professionals awaken for the first time, they don't get talent. And those who have acquired talents, if they can still cooperate with their main battle profession, that must be even more powerful. Mythical level. Lin Tian's answer was straightforward. Xiaolan's hands froze for a moment, then she frowned slightly, because she felt that Lin Tian was messing around. As a theory teacher, although Xiaolan is not a main combat professional, she will not lack relevant knowledge reserves. Blue Star gamification has been going on for more than 100 years. The highest level of props, equipment, and skills is epic level, which is an unquestionable iron law like the Pythagorean theorem. Mythical level? What it is? It doesn't exist at all. Is there a bug? Impossible. In the past 100 years, the consensus of the entire Blue Star is that gamification is the handiwork of the gods, and there are no bugs in reality. Student Lin Tian, I'm in a hurry right now. Please don't joke around. Xiaolan reprimanded Lin Tian and planned to leave. But Lin Tian was very serious. Teacher, I'm not joking. I can show you my talent panel. While speaking, Lin Tian actually released the talent panel. The moment Xiaolan saw the talent level displayed by Lin Tian, her pupils shrank instantly. The power of creation only type. Talent, level, mythical level, effect. The level of all your creations is fixed at myth level. Snapped. The document Xiaolan just picked up fell to the floor. The whole person looked at Lin Tian's talent in disbelief. Oh my god. Xiaolan's brain was completely shut down. A living professional, the creations created are fixed at the mythical level? What is the myth level? Is it a new level above the epic level? If this is true, then the potential of this talent is terrifying. Because every time a life professional changes jobs, a new career branch will be awakened. Xiaolan quickly adjusted her glasses on the bridge of her nose and asked, Student Lin Tian, what was the first branch of your profession that you awakened? Engineering. Xiaolan's eyes lit up. Engineering is a branch of life occupation that produces various mechanical creations that assist other main combat occupations. It can be regarded as a better branch of life occupation, and if Lin Tian can upgrade and transfer in the future, he will unlock more branches. For example, pharmacy, which produces various consumables to provide attribute bonuses to the main combat occupation and increase combat power. There is also enchantment. Add attributes or entries to equipment. It also enhances combat power. Well, the most important thing is blacksmithing. Build equipment. Forge weapons. If all of Lin Tian's creations are mythical, wouldn't it be? Xiaolan felt that her breathing was about to stop. She didn't dare to think any further. Her gaze at Lin Tian became hot. Student Lin Tian, did you encounter any difficulties? Why did you ask me to report such an important matter? Talent is something that every professional will not easily reveal to others, because it may arouse the coveting of others. In fact, if Lin Tian hadn't been desperate, he wouldn't have told others about his talent against the heavens. It has been 2 or 3 days since he successfully awakened. He still couldn't collect the materials to complete the first recipe. In other words, he couldn't even make the first creation. After thinking about it, Lin Tian stopped being entangled. He knew that he was born in an ordinary family, and his family didn't have a mine. It is difficult to collect rare materials. Then you might as well turn yourself over to the country. Anyway, as long as he is not a fool, he can see the infinite potential of his talent. Lin Tian confessed all his difficulties. Xiaolan took a deep breath and nodded. Then he said excitedly, Student Lin Tian, sit in the teacher's office first, and the teacher will turn on the air conditioner for you. There is tea in the teapot, by the way. I have some snacks here. You're welcome. I'll report your situation to the principal first. By the way, don't tell anyone else about your talent. I'll be right back. Kieran had a hunch. Her decision today will affect her, the entire Jiangning No. 1 middle school, and even the future of the entire Dragon Kingdom. She wants to report. Let Lin Tian truly enjoy the treatment of genius level. 002. Xiaolan rushed out of her office without taking anything and went downstairs in a hurry. Rushed towards the office building of the Academic Affairs Office. Although Xiaolan is a teacher, but in fact, she is only 23 years old this year. She has a first-class appearance and a hot body. Today, she is dressed in a black professional OL outfit, coupled with her tall figure. She has attracted the attention of countless male teachers on the road, even going to come up and say hello. But Xiaolan ignored them all. She only hated why she was wearing a pair of high heels today. All the way in a hurry, Xiaolan rushed into the building of the Academic Affairs Office and did not choose to take the elevator. Instead, he climbed the stairs all the way to the 5th floor. Panting, she came to the door of the principal's office. Then he took a few deep breaths, calmed down, and knocked on the door. Please come in. An old voice came from inside. Xiaolan pushed the door open and entered. He saw the old headmaster Wei Qing, who was wearing a turquoise robe and had white beard and hair, reviewing something on the desk. Wei Qing was old and skinny. It also looked sick, the kind that might die in a second. But he is actually more than 110 years old this year. He is a level 45 wind mage, a second-turn main combat professional. This is why he can live to this age. After Blue Star is gamified, professionals will be rewarded with attribute values after upgrading, and their natural physique and various aspects will be enhanced. But this kind of enhancement is very limited at level 60, that is, before the 3rd revolution. There is a widely circulated saying among professionals nowadays, before the 3rd turn, everyone is immortal. In other words, before the 3rd turn, no matter how many levels there is not much difference from ordinary people. Will be born old, sick and die, weak body. And after reaching level 60, professionals will get the first jump in life level. Not only the lifespan is greatly extended, but the abilities in all aspects are also greatly improved. This is why the realm after reaching level 60 is called the Transcendent Realm. It is impossible for Wei Qing to complete the 3rd revolution in his life. So now he can only be regarded as lingering. The old headmaster raised his head and saw Xiaolan's attire today. He coughed and reprimanded. Mr. Xia, you have to pay attention to your image. You dress up like this every day. How can the male students in your class control it? Xiaolan knew that business was important. Principal Wei, I have something very important to report to you. It's about a student's talent. Please don't get emotional and pay attention to your body. Xiaolan knew that the old man Wei Qing had a heart problem. In addition, he was indeed approaching the end of his lifespan. She didn't want Wei Qing to die on the spot because of being too excited. Wei Qing coughed and wiped his nosebleed. Then he pretended to be a fairy. He snorted coldly. I haven't seen such a big storm. You just say it. Kieran took a deep breath. Speak out about Lin Fan. Puff. In the next second, Xiaolan saw the old headmaster clutching his chest and spitting out a mouthful of blood. If you roll your eyes, you will die on the spot. Xiaolan didn't know where to start complaining. But Wei Qing finally beat his chest and calmed down a little. He opened the drawer, took a quick-acting heart relief pill from it, and swallowed it. Then he stood up tremblingly, pointing to Xiaolan. Xiaolan hurried to help, but he was pushed away by Wei Qing. The old man is fine. The old man can't die yet. At least I can't die until I see him. Why are you still standing there? Let me the way. I'm going to see this kid. While speaking, the old headmaster even added the buff of Windwalk to himself and Xiaolon. This is a Tier 1 spell of the wind system, which can increase the speed of movement. Soon, under the leadership of Xiaolon, the two returned to her office. Lin Tian in the office was blowing on the air conditioner, sipping tea, feeling very comfortable. He had even set his sights on the small snacks that Xiaolon secretly hid in the drawer. It's just that he didn't expect Xiaolon to move so fast, back so soon. Seeing Lin Tian, Wei Qing excitedly said, "Student, can you let me see your talent again?" Lin Tian knew the old man in front of him. He is the principal of Jiangning No. 1 Middle School. Every time Lin Tian saw him looking like he was about to pass away, Lin Tian felt that he couldn't breathe heavily when he spoke. Lin Tian released his talent. Sure enough, the old headmaster saw that Lin Tian's talent was truly mythical. Similar to Xiaolon, his brain was down. Then he quickly swallowed a few quick-acting heart-rescuing pills before he regained his breath. "Student Lin Tian, what materials do you still lack? Tell me. I'll help you make it up." Wei Qing's pale face did not know whether it was a flash of light, and it looked abnormally flushed. He waved his hand and asked Lin Tian for the materials he needed. "It's on him." Lin Tian, 5 parts of high-level element crystal, 3 parts of endless sulfur, and other materials are easy to get. I have already collected them. Wei Qing thought for a while. On the way here just now, he asked Xiaolon briefly about Lin Tian's situation. Lin Tian's father is still alive, but his mother's whereabouts are unknown. It seems that when Lin Tian was young, his mother disappeared, and only his father was left to raise him up. The high-level elemental crystal is indeed a very high-level material, and the price of one piece at the Chamber of Commerce is 100,000 dragon coins. Unceasing sulfur is even more expensive. The market price is at least 220,000 copies, and the goods need to be adjusted. Thinking about it this way, it's just these 2 rare materials. It will cost nearly 1,000,000 dragon coins. No wonder Lin Tian came to ask them for help. Fortunately, although these 2 materials are expensive, they are still available in the market in Jiangning. Do it with confidence. As long as you guarantee that you can really make a mythical prop, the materials are enough. 003. Wei Qing quickly notified the teaching director, contacted all the teachers in Jiangning No. 1 Middle School. An emergency meeting was called. Of course, Wei Qing knows how to measure. He didn't tell others about Lin Tian's talent. Now the only ones who know the details of Lin Tian's talent are him and Xiaolon, Lin Tian's head teacher. And both Wei Qing and Xiaolon knew how to measure. Wei Qing arranged tasks at the emergency meeting. The first thing is to arrange those combat teachers from the warrior department and the night department to help clean up the school's engineering laboratory, because the whole world is not paying much attention to life occupations these days. Therefore, like Jiangning No. 1 Middle School, it is too common to change all the classrooms, laboratories, and activity rooms of life occupations into utility rooms. Now these teachers of the warrior department have all become laborers and coolies. Not only to move out the sundries in the experimental workshop, there is also a big cleaning, and as soon as possible. Then Xiaolon and a group of female teachers went directly to the commercial firm in Jiangning City to buy the materials Lin Tian needed. Within 1 hour, the entire experimental workshop has a new look. At the same time, Xiaolon and a group of teachers also came back with the materials Lin Tian needed. Only then did Wei Qing invite Lin Tian out like a treasure. A group of teachers surrounded the moon with stars, protecting Lin Tian in the middle. Wei Qing smiled like a chrysanthemum, kept saying good things to Lin Tian, and invited Lin Tian into the experimental workshop. Many of Lin Tian's classmates in Class 3 and 3 saw this scene. Eyes are straight. That should be Lin Tian? Isn't this kid a life profession? Why is our principal leading him the way like a dog? After Lin Tian entered the workshop, Wei Qing kicked out all the teachers except Xiaolon, and said that without his consent, no one is allowed to enter. Then, Wei Qing rubbed his hands, looked at Lin Tian, smiled like a chrysanthemum again, and asked nervously, "Lin Tian, can you let us take a look? We also want to see how mythical creations are made. Of course, if we will affect you, we will leave immediately." Lin Tian: "It's okay. The main reason is that the materials are difficult to obtain. The actual manufacturing process is simple and takes very little time." Hearing that Lin Tian didn't need them to go out, Wei Qing and Xiaolon looked at each other, both a little excited. Soon, under the fiery gaze of the two, Lin Tian began to use various engineering tools such as wrenches, tweezers, and drills in the workshop. "Started making your first engineering creation." Lin Tian is only level 1 now. There is only one formula that he can currently make. Recipe: Engineering Grenade, level, LV.1. But even such a simple grenade manufacturing. In Lin Tian's hands, he is also extremely skillful and professional. The eyes of the two bystanders looked straight, because Lin Tian's operations seemed to be dazzled. Fingers even appear after image. And the production progress is ridiculously fast. They just found out. Can the engineering of life professions be so fancy? It looks so powerful. If this time, there are other life professionals here who have mastered a branch of engineering, definitely shake your head in tears. I'm not. I don't. Only he is like this. If it were someone else, it would take more than half a day just to make such a grenade. Only Lin Tian can finish it in a few minutes. This is actually a hidden attribute of Lin Tian's god-level talent. He is god in all branches of life and occupation. After more than 2 minutes, Lin Tian let out a long breath. He looked at the black grenade that was almost formed in his hand, and now he only needed to put the last piece of iron on it to complete it. Both the principal and the teacher became nervous, because they were afraid that Lin Tian would fail. But Lin Tian's talent actually has a hidden effect, which is absolute success. After all, if it can't be 100% successful, how can it be said that the creation is 100% mythical? Lin Tian attached the last piece of iron to the incomplete part of the grenade in his hand. Next moment, the grenade in Lin Tian's hand burst into an extremely dazzling, colorful light. The entire workshop was illuminated by a blinding light. The principal and the teacher were almost blinded by the flash. Close your eyes quickly. But even so, the strong light still penetrated their eyelids, giving them an extremely hot, burning sensation. In the end, they could only lower their heads and cover their eyes to feel better. The teachers guarding outside the experimental workshop, also all stupid. Just now they also saw an incomparably bright, colorful streamer burst out of the laboratory, just when they were about to stick their heads out to see what was going on inside. The next moment, a rainbow of light rushed straight toward Xiaohan. This beam of light is as thick as a bucket. The dazzling light is shining, even in broad daylight. The sunlight in the sky will be a bit inferior because of this. Wait until this beam of light disappears. Everyone opened their eyes. Just discovered, the sky suddenly darkened. The sun and the moon shrank their light and turned into two extremely dim balls. Then, on the faint blue sky, there were more bright lights of stars. These starlights gradually converged into the most vast galaxy seen in the universe. This vision made everyone's mouths open. In an instant, from day to night. Another moment, they seemed to be swimming in the endless sea of stars, completely lost their direction. In fact, this scene of vision shrouded the entire Jiangning city. Now it's not just them who see it. It was the millions of residents in the entire Jiangning city who all witnessed this magnificent vision of heaven and earth. However, this vision has just reached its climax now. Between the bright galaxy, the stars swim. The few brightest stars gradually formed a phantom. This phantom gradually congealed into a human form. A phantom of an incomparably majestic, muscular deity appeared. But he couldn't see the face clearly. There are only two deep eyes looking towards Lin Tian from the end of the universe and dimension. 004. Thump, thump. All the professional teachers who were standing in front of the experimental workshop of Jiangning No. 1 Middle School unexpectedly saw the phantom that seemed to come from the end of the universe for a moment. All knelt down. All 5 bodies fell to the ground, trembling all over. There was only shock and awe in my heart. In fact, it's not just them. At this moment in the entire Jiangning city, as long as you see this virtual phantom, whether it is a second-turn powerhouse, still have completed the third turn, a few extraordinary monsters who have taken that step and entered the extraordinary realm, all were shocked. 5 body cast, trembling, show reverence for the gods. This is a complete suppression from the level of life. Human beings, small human beings, even if they are just a projection in front of the gods, it is impossible to resist half a point. It's not just humans. All around Jiangning City, all the monsters at this moment can only stay in place, unable to take any action. In this army of kneeling worshippers whose number reaches tens of millions, only one person stood upright. Lin Tian is that exception. At this moment, Lin Tian could even feel the pair of divine eyes from the end of the dimension watching him through the dome of this experimental workshop. Similarly, Lin Tian can also stare at this giant god. He even vaguely felt a trace of divine thoughts from him, but unfortunately Lin Tian couldn't understand its deep meaning at all. The duration of the phantom of the gods is not long. The heaven and earth vision only lasted for more than 20 seconds before disappearing. The phantom slowly disappeared. The endless sea of stars slowly faded. Then the sky brightened up again. The sky is full of clouds, and the sun is shining brightly. It seemed that what happened just now was a collective hallucination. In the experimental workshop, Lin Tian stopped looking up at the sky and looked at the things in his hands. It was an unremarkable black grenade. The colorful streamer that lingered on it before also disappeared. Make it look like an ordinary engineering grenade. But only Lin Tian knows that it is fundamentally different from those coquettish sluts, because at the moment it is behind the message of grade in the attribute column. 3 words were written impressively. Mythical level. Wei Qing wiped the sweat from his brow, trembling, got up from the ground. Don't think that they can survive the disaster if they didn't see the phantom of the giant god that can only be seen outside. Seems like they don't need to be seen at all. When the phantom of the giant god descends, all things will surrender and tremble. Xiaolan also felt that just kneeling like this made her legs go numb. After getting up, Xiaolan and Wei Qing stared at the grenade in Lin Tian's hand, unable to look away. Wei Qing looked excited. God? It must have been the arrival of the gods just now. I didn't expect that the creation of mythical props would cause the phantom of gods to descend. His face was trembling slightly. Because of this vision of heaven and earth, Wei Qing had also heard of it. Generally speaking, it is the super high-level skills released by the powerhouses above rank 5 that can trigger the phenomena of heaven and earth. Well, it was also recorded in ancient books. During the period when Blue Star first started gamification, human beings produced 9 saint-level powerhouses. At the moment of breaking through the saint realm, it will also trigger the vision of heaven and earth. But like Lin Tian, just creating a grenade will trigger the phenomenon of heaven and earth. Wei Qing had never heard of it, but this is also a side note. How extraordinary is this grenade made by Lin Tian? Wei Qing organized his speech and then said, "Student Lin Tian, can I borrow this grenade you made and report it to the Municipal Education Department? This matter is of great importance. To be honest, the resources you have spent on making this grenade have almost emptied our school's share for half a year, considering that you may need more and more expensive rare materials in the future. I think we should continue to report you and your talent. But don't worry, Su Tianlong, the director of the Municipal Education Department, is my old classmate. I have a close relationship with him. He will definitely attach great importance to a genius like you. Actually, this is also good for your future development." Wei Qing spoke sincerely, and also took into account Lin Tian's concerns. That's why I said it with caution. But in fact, Lin Tian's original idea coincides with Wei Qing's. Of course he knew how expensive it would be to create mythical creations. That's why he came to them for help. Just a LV1 engineering grenade, the consumables are close to 1 million dragon coins. He couldn't even think about the subsequent expenses. Without relying on the big tree of the country, he may not be able to realize the burden in his heart for the rest of his life. In fact, Lin Tian has always had a secret that he has not told others. That is, he is actually a time traveler. It has been so many years since I traveled to this world. In this world of great controversy, how could he be willing to be an ordinary mortal? He also wants to leave his name in history, even if he can't conquer the world with his own hands. Let your own country, with its own creations, conquer the world. Lin Tian nodded in agreement. Wei Qing felt as if he had been pardoned, and a big stone fell from his heart. He was afraid that Lin Tianhe would not want to show his talent, so he would be complacent instead. While speaking, Wei Qing took the engineering grenade handed over by Lin Tian. Then view the detailed properties. TB1 engineering grenade type. Explosives, level, LV.1, grade. Myth, use. Throw it at the target, or slam it to cause an explosion. The moment Wei Qing saw the word Xinhua, Parkinson's hands trembled involuntarily. It even almost let the grenade fall to the ground. The souls of the dead Xiaolan, watching from the side, all trembled. If this big baby is really allowed to land, maybe she will be blown to nothing. Fortunately, Wei Qing stabilized. Although he looks like he has to be led on the spot every day, in fact, he has been like this for several years. In the end, the grenade didn't hit the ground. Then, the 110-year-old actually cried. There were big tears streaming down his eyes. No one knows, Wei Qing has mixed feelings in his heart at this moment. Limited by his talent and circumstances, it is impossible for him to enter the extraordinary realm again in his entire life. The remaining time can only be old age, waiting for that day to come. However, the appearance of Lin Tian seems to be the last mercy of the gods for his ordinary life. At this moment, what he is holding in his hand may be the history of Blue Star's gamification, the first mythical item to appear. He, Wei Qing, is just an unknown old principal in a small border town. It may rot with the loss in a few years, but fortunate to be able to receive this honor at the end of life. I am so lucky. 005. The time came to evening. Jiangning No. 1 middle school is over. Most remained in classrooms for self-study, but Lin Tian chose to go home directly. Even in this world, the homework of the third year of high school is very heavy for students. For those who have successfully awakened and become professionals, they must prepare for the college entrance examination of the Transcendent Academy. For those who fail to awaken, there is also the weight of future life on their shoulders. They can only gain a firm foothold in this era of catastrophe by relying on cultural examinations, entering various logistics departments, and dedicating their entire lives to professional-related industries. For example, Lin Tian's father was an employee of a certain mine excavation factory. As soon as Lin Tian got home, he saw his father Lin Zhenhua cooking in the kitchen with his waist supported. "Dad, I'm back. Get ready to eat. Go wash your hands first." Seeing his son coming back, Lin Zhenhua turned around and greeted him. Lin Tian told his teacher about his talent, and another reason why he chose to take refuge in the country is that he also wanted to improve the current family economic situation. After all, Lin Zhenhua is also getting old, and going to the mine is a precarious job. If possible, Lin Tian even wants to directly get rich and free, so that his father doesn't have to work so hard every day. However, Lin Tian opened his mouth, but still didn't open his mouth to tell his father what happened today. He is also not sure how much repercussions his stepping stone, that mythical grenade, can cause. Let's talk about it later. At the same time, Wei Qing returned to her home after get-off work. First bathe and change clothes, and then put on the most solemn clothes. He also called Xiaolan, who was the only one who knew, got in the car, and rushed to the Jiangning City Education Department. At present, all the base cities in the Dragon Kingdom have 3 top official organizations. One is the military, which is responsible for the national defense of the Dragon Kingdom and the land reclamation work of various top dungeons in a planned way. The other is the Professionals Alliance, which is mainly responsible for managing and accommodating civilian idle professionals, with the largest number of people. Finally, there is the Education Department, which is responsible for sending talents for the other 2 organizations. It is related to the future of Longhua, so the Education Department also has great power. After more than 10 minutes, the taxi stopped in front of the gate of the Education Department. Wei Qing paid the fare, then took Xiaolan to the director's office on the top floor of the Education Department. However, as soon as he entered the Education Department, Wei Qing found out. At this moment, civil strife in the Education Department has become a mess. It turned out that it was the phantom of the giant god that appeared in the afternoon, which made the mayor of Jiangning deeply anxious. The major professional families in Jiangning City are also a little panicked. I don't even think it's a good sign. Therefore, now the military and the professional union have jointly launched an investigation. Pulling the whole body, the Education Department has also been affected. Wei Qing knocked on the door of Su Tianlong, director of the Education Department, who was holding the phone and yelling at him. "Why should I be responsible for the incompetence of the military? They investigate theirs. Why should I send a notice to summon all the school's top management for a meeting?" Seeing that Wei Qing walked in without his consent, Su Tianlong didn't say anything either. As Wei Qing and Lin Tian said before, the 2 used to be classmates, and they have a friendship here. Su Tianlong is about the same age as Wei Qing, but the spirit is still hale and hearty, not even a few gray hairs. Because he is a level 60 Thunder Mage, he has stepped into the extraordinary realm. Even if he might not be able to complete the 4th turn until he dies of old age, his lifespan is much longer than Wei Qing's. Su Tianlong hung up the phone and looked at his old classmate. It was obvious that his anger was still lingering, and his tone was a bit aggressive. "Why? What do you want from me? If you ask me to go through the back door, I'll tell you no way. Get out on the spot." Wei Qing snorted coldly. "I'm here to tell you the reason for the heaven and earth anomaly that happened this afternoon. You can also inform the Iron Wall Army and the city chief's office. There is no need to continue the investigation." Su Tianlong heard the words and asked in doubt, "Do you know the reason?" Wei Qing said, "I know the reason, but the less people know about it, the better. But this matter is too involved and involves top-secret personnel training rules. It's definitely not you and me, or even the city chief, who can make a decision easily, so don't tell anyone else what I'll show you or say next." While speaking, Wei Qing took out the black grenade. "What is this? Engineering grenade?" You mean the vision of heaven and earth in the afternoon is related to this thing? Su Tianlong took the engineering grenade suspiciously. Then, the next second, after he saw the properties of the grenade clearly, the whole person fell off the chair. She was dumbfounded, with shock written all over her face. God myth? This. Su Tianlong instantly became a stutterer, and the more explosive ones are yet to come. Wei Qing. The person who made this grenade is my student, and his talent is that all the products he makes are mythical. Su Tianlong was completely stupid. This sentence is simply lore, constantly echoing in his mind. Now his mouth is big enough to hold an egg. As director of education, his vision is higher than that of Wei Qing. He knew that Lin Tian's talent was enough to affect the entire Dragon Kingdom. No, it was a terrifying talent enough to affect the entire human race. To report. Must report. He needs to go to the provincial office. But the next moment, Su Tianlong forced himself to calm down again. He carefully looked at the mythical grenade in his hand, lost in thought. If you just report to your superiors like this, and this grenade is actually just a mythical quality. But what if there is no mythical effect? Su Tianlong's worry is not unreasonable. After all, if it's just an empty shelf, it's fine for them to be happy for nothing. But report it upwards. They are about to take the blame. Therefore, it must be verified. To test the specific power of this grenade. 006. After thinking about the key, Su Tianlong packed up the things on the table. Then he stood up and said to Wei Qing and Xiaolan, "Come on, come with me to the military headquarters. The power of this thing must be tested, so that I can continue to report to the higher authorities and help the genius you mentioned apply for national special talent treatment. Otherwise, if this matter gets messed up, it will be difficult for me." Wei Qing hadn't spoken yet, but Xiaolan beside him suddenly spoke up. "Lin Tian is my student, and he is willing to tell me such an important secret, which shows that he trusts me very much, and I can't live up to his trust. So, I think that even if you want to test the specific power of this grenade, you should ask his own opinion. After all, we just borrowed his work." Su Tianlong thought for a while after hearing the words and finally nodded. "I was too anxious. I really want to ask him. Without Lin Tian's consent, it would be a bit disrespectful to just take it for a test and detonate it. Then tomorrow, I will also meet this incredible genius." The next morning, Lin Tian entered the classroom. In an instant, he was surrounded by a group of classmates. Everyone is gossip, even several girls in the class gossip around Lin Tian, asking questions. Obviously, they were all asking what happened in that experimental workshop yesterday. That level of vision of heaven and earth is too terrifying. But Lin Tian asked back, "You don't think that the vision of heaven and earth yesterday is related to me, do you? The principal is just talking to me." After Lin Tian finished speaking, several female students booed. Obvious disbelief. At this moment, a boy who was a head taller than Lin Tian and who had also awakened a relatively rare warrior profession in the awakening ceremony a few days ago snorted coldly, "Don't put gold on your face. One who has awakened a life profession, it's nothing more than a piece of trash. How could that level of heaven and earth vision have anything to do with him? It's more likely that a treasure was born." Yes, a treasure was born. Lin Tian quickly agreed with a smile. When facing a fool, of course we have to agree with his point of view and train him to be a big fool. In this matter, it seems that there is nothing wrong with saying that the treasure was born. The tall boy's name is Wang Tong, and he is the only son of the head of the Wang family, a well-known professional family in Jiangning. After the blue star gamification, the probability of success in awakening is generally highly correlated with genes and heredity. Professionals and their offspring have a higher chance of successfully awakening and becoming professionals. Therefore, it is rare for Lin Tian's parents to be awakened successfully without being professionals. It is precisely because of this that there are now professional families in countries all over the world. Even the energy of some big families is not much better than that of a country's organizations. Wang Tong was able to be arrogant and domineering in Jiangning No. 1 middle school only because he was of the blood of the Wang family. It's just that he is very unpopular, and apart from a few licking dogs around him, he has no friends anymore. At this moment, the principal Wei Qing, accompanied by Su Tianlong, director of the education department, and Xiaolan, the head teacher of class 3, walked into the classroom. Wang Tong had met Su Tianlong several times. After all, his father often went to the education department. He repeatedly wanted to send Su Tianlong some good things to improve his relationship, but in the end he always put a hot face on his cold ***. So he naturally knew how powerful Su Tianlong was. He showed a smirk. stepped forward and greeted with a smile. Uncle Su, I am the king. Halfway through Wang Ting's speech, he realized that Su Tianlong didn't even look at him, completely ignoring him. Through him, go straight to Lin Tian. Several female students around Lin Tian consciously gave way. Wei Qing introduced with a smile. That's him. His name is Lin Tian. Student Lin Tian. This is Director Su of the Education Department. Lin Tian quickly stood up. The old man Wei Qing is awesome. I didn't expect that it really has something to do with being able to hire such a big man. Seeing Lin Tian, Su Tianlong's eyes sparkled. Sure enough, a hero is born as a boy. Lin is a talented student. Don't be so cautious. Just call me Uncle Su if you don't mind. Lin Tian said modestly. Hello, Uncle Su. Su Tianlong was very happy and laughed. Then, while joking, he led Lin Tian out of the classroom. Wang Tong was dumbfounded. The other students were also completely sluggish. What happened? Why is the director of the education department so polite in front of Lin Tian? Even Wang Tong, a kid from a rich family, was completely ignored. Hiss. At this moment, Wang Ting only felt a burning pain on his face. Obviously Lin Tian didn't do anything, but now he thinks of Lin Tian's words. Yes, 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 he feels like a badass. Lin Tian was teasing him. Lin Tian followed Wei Qing back to his office. Student Lin Tian, sit down. Lin Tian was not polite either, and sat down. Then Su Tianlong went straight to the point without much nonsense. Student Lin Tian, your principal and teacher have told me about your talent. I take it seriously and intend to continue to report to my superiors. You deserve more attention and cultivation. Maybe one day, the shallow water in Jiangning won't be able to accommodate your soaring dragon. But I hope you don't forget this place where you were born and raised. Haha, what I said was a bit off topic. The main reason is that your talent is too special. It is unprecedented, and it may be unprecedented. Mythical level. We have never seen or heard of this level. It's not even recorded in ancient books. So, we don't know whether this level is stronger or worse than the highest epic level currently recognized by everyone. In addition, this grenade is only LV1. In the hands of other professionals who have mastered engineering skills, the power produced is extremely limited. Even more than a dozen of these grenades need to be connected in series to complete the mining work. So, we want to test the power of this mythical engineering grenade you created. I'm here to ask for your opinion. After speaking, Su Tianlong, Wei Qing, and Xiaolan all looked at Lin Tian with burning eyes. Lin Tian nodded without hesitation. He felt the importance of the people in front of him. Originally, in their identities, it was understandable not to ask themselves to test themselves, but they still asked for their own opinions because of this trivial matter. This made Lin Tian have a good impression of them. No problem, I thought so too. After all, I don't know how strong the specific effects of the things I created are. Seeing Lin Tian agreed. Su Tianlong's eyes lit up, and he said with a smile, It's not too late. We're going to find the test site now. 007. After the blue star was digitalized and the world entered the era of catastrophe, many cities in all countries in the world fell due to the sudden appearance of monsters. That period of history is a history of human humiliation. Then, a small number of human pioneers who completed their awakening and became professionals built new human cities among the ruins. The distribution of monsters around the areas where these human cities are located is even rarer, and the level is generally not high. A city built in such a place is called a base city. Jiangning is a third-level base city of Dragon Kingdom. The site selection is not excellent, but it has been built for more than 60 years. The outskirts of Jiangning are several independent leveling areas. The level of monsters is not high, which is very suitable for leveling for professionals who have just completed their awakening. There is a swamp area on the eastern outskirts of the city, and the level of monsters here is hell compared to those cute new leveling areas. Because the monster level rises sharply, generally between 25 and 30. This is already the level required by professionals for the second turn. In addition, the monsters here are all sixth children, either poisonous or sneak attacking. So basically no one will come to level up. In fact, this Fang Swamp is so large that it almost completely surrounds the entire western suburbs of Jiangning. No one knows how terrifying the number of monsters are. Therefore, this is also an important reason for restricting the development of Jiangning. Because the Fang Swamp is a ticking time bomb. Terrible monsters may break out at any time to attack the city, that is, the Beast Tide. The Jiangning military camp is stationed near this Fang Swamp. In case a Beast Tide breaks out in the Fang Swamp one day, they can form a defense line at the first time. A car with the plate number of the education department drove into the main camp of Huban Camp. Lin Tian followed Su Tianlong and Wei Qing out of the car. Xiaolan didn't follow because she still had to teach. Su Tianlong took the lead and stepped into the deeper part of the Huban camp. Along the way, Lin Tian saw that the entire camp was full of military professionals wearing armor and looking fierce. The levels of these professionals are all very high, almost level 2 per person. Moreover, it is well-equipped and can be regarded as the elite of the elite. Entering one of the tallest military tents, Lin Tian also saw the commander of the Huban battalion that Jiang Ning was stationed in the city to defend. This is a man with a strong physique and dignified eyes. The aura Lin Tian felt from him was unprecedented. His rank is higher than Su Tianlong. Reached level 70, a berserker under the swordsman branch. Laoli, I want to borrow a weapon testing site from you. I want to test the power of our newly developed new weapons. Li Ming, a strong man, raised his head and said with a sneer, "Aren't the development departments of your education bureau just a bunch of drunks and riches? When will we be able to develop new weapons?" Su Tianlong smiled mysteriously. "They are indeed dead bodies, but the things I'm going to test today are not made by them." Li Ming became interested and crossed his arms over his chest. The black iron armor on his body reflected the icy light, making him look even more imposing. "What new weapon? Let me see." Su Tianlong didn't hide it either, and shook the black grenade in his hand. "Laugh. Are you G kidding me?" Li Ming is a pure vulgar person. He saw the engineering grenade Su Tianlong was holding. "It's straight up rough. You call this a weapon? The most useless soldier under my hands. The sword energy wielded is 100 times more powerful than it." Su Tianlong is still confident. "Oldly, don't talk too much. Don't blame me for not reminding you if you get slapped in the face later. Stop talking nonsense. Do you want to borrow it?" "Li Ming, do you need to use our venue to test this thing? You go out and find an open space and just treat it as a dropped cannon." Su Tianlong was angry. "Li Ming, I'm not kidding you. You may not be able to imagine the power of this thing. The test site must be treated with caution. If one is not careful, the entire Jiangning may be gone." Li Ming's eyes were straightened. Then he laughed wildly, and he slapped the table with his thick and powerful hands, even leaving deep palm prints. "Stop making trouble. A grenade. You said it might endanger the entire Bay City? Old Su, are you demented?" At this time, Lin Tian, who was silent on the side, spoke. "Really be careful. I have a hunch that it might be as powerful as a nuclear explosion." Su Tianlong and Li Ming all looked over upon hearing the words. After the beginning of the cataclysmic era, the first problems were all kinds of technological weapons around the world, all invalid. Among them are the big killers of mankind at that time, nuclear weapons. Therefore, now that Lin Tian mentions the ancient vocabulary of nuclear explosion, the two of them will be so surprised. Unexpectedly, Lin Tian knew it. After hearing what Lin Tian said, Su Tianlong chose to believe Lin Tian. After all, it's always good to be careful. If you choose the test site of Huban Camp, it will be no more than a few square kilometers. In case the power of the grenade exceeds expectations, it would be ridiculous to wipe out the entire Huban Camp in the end. In this way, let's choose the detonation site in the center of the Fang Swamp. It just happened to be able to root out the serious trouble of Jiang Ning's confidant, and the swamp also has a buffering effect, which can minimize the impact of the explosion, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Laoli, you don't need to arrange manpower, and you don't need to use the venue. Just borrow a military drone from us, find someone, load this grenade, transport it to the center of Fang Swamp, and drop it. Li Ming was speechless. It's really G evil today. Seeing his old friend swearing, and the brat next to him making alarmist remarks, Li Ming was really bored. He waved his hand and called his adjutant. Soon, the test that Lin Tian and others were looking forward to began as scheduled. In the command room of the Huban battalion, there is a surveillance formation that monitors every corner of Jiangning City from all directions and from multiple angles. These formations are also the handwriting of life professionals. On the big screen, a drone carrying a mythical grenade flies at high speed. Keep flying towards the center of the Fang Swamp. Everyone is quietly waiting for the delivery point to arrive. Only Li Ming shook his head. It's so G stupid. I still have soldiers to drill. You guys are playing here. I won't accompany you. Li Ming wants to come. The final fate of this grenade will definitely be submerged in the swamp. Don't say it exploded. Can't even turn a splash. Su Tianlong had quick eyes and quick hands, grabbed Li Ming's hand, and said nervously, "You won't die after practicing. Watch carefully. The delivery point is here." This point is also 400 to 500 kilometers away from the Huban camp military tent. Lin Tian nodded. This should be an absolutely safe distance. Deliver. Li Ming had no choice but to issue a release order to the radio in his hand. The next moment, the soldier controlling the drone released the iron clamps under the drone, and the black grenade fell from a high altitude. 008. This moment, everyone except Li Ming. Everyone is tense. Wei Qing and Su Tianlong are constantly lowering their psychological expectations of the power of this grenade. Because after all, this is just an engineering prop for LV-1. Even if it is mythical level, how far can it be outrageous? Maybe I and others really made a big fuss, and Li Ming's proving ground is enough for testing. However, as long as its power is far superior to ordinary grenades, it shows that Lin Tian's talent is valuable. The mythical level is indeed beyond the existing equipment level. Lin Tian was also a little nervous. After all, he is the maker, just like parents, who doesn't want their children to be extremely good. Just as everyone waited with bated breath, on the big screen, the grenade was so small that it had almost turned into an ant-like black spot, finally landed on a rock in the Fong Swamp. This is also a carefully chosen point. If there is no violent impact, but falls into the water, the grenade may not necessarily explode. That would be really embarrassing. The moment the grenade touched the rock, Wei Qing felt that the world was quiet. The wind stopped, and the air in the command room froze. Only the sound of my own breathing and heartbeat remained. The next moment, an extremely dazzling white light appeared. In the entire command room, the 3 large screens for observing the results of this test all burst out with extremely dazzling white light. It looks like the monitoring array, or these monitors are malfunctioning. It's all a piece of whiteness. Li Ming frowned. Even now, he still doesn't believe that this is the explosion caused by the grenade. He just thinks there should be a malfunction somewhere. At the same time, in another tent of Huban camp, a young soldier of the Huban battalion was sharing the outrageous incident with his colleagues. "My family, who knows? The boss is crazy. Just now the boss actually sent me to the warehouse to adjust a drone, and then carry a new weapon to carry out some explosive tests." Hearing this, the comrades around the soldier all gathered together. "Gongzi, what kind of weapon? Don't speak ill of the boss, let me tell you. He's petty and ruthless. Ha ha ha, I'm going to sue now." The soldier named Gongzi waved his hand with a wonderful expression. "That new weapon, let me tell you, that's outrageous." Gongzi stretched out his hands, made a circle the size of an egg, and continued. "It's just such a big engineering grenade. I used that thing as a cannonball during Chinese New Year in my hometown. The boss said it was a new weapon. Do you think he is crazy?" The people around Gongzi all laughed after a brief shock. "Perfect nonsense. You have to make up a good story." "Gongzi, I really didn't make up a story. The boss even told me that this is a new weapon created by the education department, and it needs to be detonated." "What are you talking about, detonating experiments? We have to use our fake tens of thousands of drones to transport them in person, and carefully send them to the very center of the Fong Swamp to detonate them." Gongzi just finished speaking. Next moment, the earth shakes and the mountains shake. All the things placed on the table in the entire camp shook violently and scattered all over the ground. The soldiers who were talking and laughing just now were all thrown off their feet. Fortunately, they are all elite. Encountering such a sudden situation, he put away his playful thoughts almost instantly. He picked up his weapon, adjusted his balance, and rushed out of the tent. Because this may be an enemy attack, or it's an earthquake. Gongzi got up from the ground, vomited a mouthful of mud that he accidentally fell and gnawed just now. Ba ba ba. Then he was suddenly blinded by a terrible glare. A group of people have been recruited. He kept rubbing his eyes. Soon, when the glare fades, most people's eyes also adapt to the sudden blindness. Only then did they realize that the comrades who rushed out of the tent with him were all staring blankly at the western sky. OMG! What exploded then? Gongzi also turned his head and looked over. Then be silly. I saw that the sky in the west was dyed orange-red, and in the center of the Tooth Swamp in the far distance, an extremely huge fireball slowly rose. An incomparably spectacular mushroom cloud appeared. The earthquake just now was caused by the shock wave caused by this peerless explosion arriving first. Now, the sky and the earth roar. The sun and the moon are dark. This violent explosion instantly annihilated hundreds of kilometers of Fang Swamp's center into molecular-level dust with terrifying energy. Countless creatures in the Fang Swamp died in this explosion. On the big monitoring screen, after the glare dissipated, you can see the terrible consequences of the explosion from a more intuitive overhead perspective. Most of the water in the Fang Swamp evaporated almost instantly. Swamps became dry land. At that moment, the huge mushroom cloud and the area affected by the shock wave completely turned into a forbidden area for life. Not a blade of grass grows. Li Ming was stunned. He suddenly turned his head to look at the three of Wei Qing behind him. Then he found that, except for the handsome young student who was thoughtful, other people's reactions were similar to his own. The old man Wei Qing had a heart attack. Su Tianlong had tears in his eyes, shock written all over his face. The ghost knows whether he cried because he was blinded by the strong light, or because he was too excited and happy. Mother. Li Ming is a man from the northwest. In fact, he was not a native of Jiangning. He finally expressed the F***K in his heart in his own vernacular. You call this a grenade? Li Ming shook Su Tianlong's shoulder. At this moment, he also realized that this time the detonation experiment. Lin Tian is right. If it wasn't for his proposal to choose the test site carefully, he and his human camp would probably have been blown to ashes by now. Being shaken by Li Ming like this, Su Tianlong also woke up from the shock. A look of ecstasy appeared on his face. Hugging Lin Tian beside him. Successful. The mythical grenade you built has successfully exploded. This power is too terrifying. Simply shocking. Wei Qing swallowed several quick-acting heart-rescuing pills before joining the same celebration as Su Tianlong. Lin Tian was a little dizzy from being shaken by these two big guys. He is also a little happy. As a parent, my child has achieved the most perfect results in the test, far exceeded everyone's expectations. Can't you be proud of it? After celebrating with Lin Tian in his arms, Su Tianlong hurried to the console and began to shake and torture Li Ming. Old Li, have you recorded the picture just now and the whole process of the experiment? Li Ming nodded. It's all recorded. Su Tianlong was even more excited. He looked at Lin Tian and laughed loudly, because he was so excited that he even choked on his saliva when he spoke. Ha ha ha, cough cough. Report. Must report. Lin Tian, you will surely shock the world. 009. On the outside, Li Ming looks like the kind of super rough guy with muscles in his head. However, if he was really that thick and brainless, he wouldn't be able to be the commander of the entire human battalion. He encounters things related to weapons, tactics, and military affairs. The sense of smell and mind are sharper than anyone else. At this moment, he was looking at the Fang Swamp that quickly disappeared on the screen due to the terrible power of the grenade explosion. He is keenly aware of how terrifying such a weapon is to Dragon Kingdom. After the cataclysmic era, humanity's technological talent tree is locked by some invisible force. All kinds of cutting-edge weapons in the past have failed. So far, human beings have almost no technological weapons available. Even frontline engineering students can create the most powerful bombs. It's similar to the explosion of a gas tank in the past. Therefore, the current wars and friction competitions among the Blue Star countries are not at all the most important weapons of various countries. It's the strength of the head main combat professional. Which country's head main combat professional has a higher level, better equipment, and stronger professional characteristics? Then whoever can stand on the pinnacle of the world and overlook all living beings. However, this situation was broken by a small grenade today. Those without vision can only see the power of this grenade. And Li Ming, who is fairly far-sighted, can see the leopard from the inside. Since a LV-1 engineering grenade will have such power. So the author behind it created a more terrifying war machine. Is it not a problem? In the not-too-distant future, maybe there will be more things that can be called the most important weapons in the Dragon Kingdom, to make up for the gap between the top main combat professionals and other countries. That's right, although the Dragon Kingdom is now the top 5 powers in the world, it is in the early days of the cataclysmic era. The first to be gamified were the Western countries. At that time, everyone was glad that he was born in the East, and was not eaten by various monsters that came out of the cracks in different dimensions immediately. However, no one thought that it was a natural disaster, but it was also an opportunity. Today, more than 100 years later, looking back, it is precisely because Western countries were the first to be invaded by games that they started earlier. There are more professionals. and the average level is much higher than that of professionals in Eastern countries. Even if the Dragon Kingdom has been striving to catch up in the past 100 years, it still has to look directly at the gap after all. Li Ming also thought about another situation. That is if a war does break out. A small grenade. It looks harmless to humans and animals, but it has the terrifying power of strategic nuclear weapons. This is simply a natural camouflage color. The more Li Ming thought about it, the more excited he became. The more he thought about it, the more excited he became. Just for a while, look up at the big screen again. At this moment, the tooth swamp has almost disappeared. A grenade made a serious problem that had troubled Jiangning for decades completely disappear from the blue star. Li Ming couldn't hold back and quickly asked, "What is the origin of this grenade? Is it the work of a saint-level master? How did your education department hug such thighs? Can this thing be mass-produced? Do you have stock in hand now? If this grenade can be mass-produced, then the person who made it will surely go down in history, become the hero of the entire Dragon Kingdom." Su Tianlong quietly watched Li Ming self-questioning and self-answering like beans falling from a bamboo tube. Then, with a smile, he gave Li Ming a look. At the same time, he stretched out his hand and quietly pointed to Lin Tian, who was beside him. Li Ming and Su Tianlong have also been friends for decades, and he is not stupid, so a ridiculous idea was born in his mind in an instant. The man who made this weapon. It's not a saint-level master, but this young man who hasn't even taken the college entrance examination yet? Li Ming's eyes were straightened. You mean this thing? It's him? Su Tianlong stretched out his index finger, placed it in front of his lips, and made a hissing gesture. Then he looked at Li Ming's other subordinates in the command room. Li Ming understood immediately. Screen off other subordinates. Su Tianlong continued. This matter is currently top secret, and not many people know about it. I didn't want you to know at first, but it's all come to this point. You don't want to know, you have to know. Yes, this grenade was made by him. His name is Lin Tian, and he is a student of Jiangning No. 1 Middle School. For life professionals, the first career branch to unlock is engineering. He has a talent. As long as it is through his hands, the creations created by him are all mythical. The moment Li Ming heard the words mythical grade, the brain went blank. Mythical level? Mythical level. Blue Star currently has 7 grades of props from low to high. Ordinary, white, excellent, green, excellent, blue, rare, purple, uncommon, orange, legendary, red, and the highest golden props, which are epic props. However, today he heard the 8th quality level. Mythical level, colorful. And there is no doubt that the mythical level is definitely above the epic level. Li Ming's eyes looked at Lin Tian again, full of blazing heat that made Lin Tian feel uncomfortable. Grass. The strong man in front of him doesn't have any strange hobbies. How to look at your own eyes is the same as looking at a beautiful woman. Li Ming squatted down, making himself a head shorter than Lin Tian, grabbed Lin Tian's shoulders with both hands, and said excitedly, "Little brother, I am a rough person. If I offended you before, I will apologize to you now. Please just treat me like a fart. If you don't mind, my name is Li Ming. I'm a little older than you. Just call me Brother Ming. What level are you now?" Lin Tian was a little embarrassed by Li Ming's sudden enthusiasm, but still replied, "Only level 1. Li Mengting stood up suddenly. He glared at Su Tianlong and Wei Qing angrily. "What do you two old people do for food? Huh? You don't know how to take my little brother Lin to practice leveling? How can he still be level 1? If I remember correctly, life occupations unlock a new manufacturing formula every 5 levels in the early stage. Go, Brother Lin. I'll take you to level up." 010. Su Tianlong and Wei Qing were immediately speechless after being scolded by Li Ming. It was only then that the two of them remembered. They have completely forgotten in the past 2 days that only when Lin Tian's level has risen can he create more mythical items. They are all from the main combat profession. So leveling is basically done by yourself. And they also have the ability to upgrade. But Lin Tian is a life profession. Living occupations do not have the killing skills of main combat occupations, so it is so difficult to upgrade living occupations. Basically, it is only possible to spend money to find someone to take the leveling. But even if this is the case, it will be around level 10 at most. That is, completing 1 turn is the limit. Because the price in the future is not only more expensive, the level of danger is also higher. After all, if you bring a boss to level up, even if you destroy the group in the game, you will be angry for a while. But in the real world, death is death. It is impossible to revive without special props and skills. No one is willing to take the risk of losing their own life to bring a stranger to leveling. After scolding Su Tianlong and Wei Qing, the old men, Li Ming called his adjutant. Sunsheng Zhaochong, arrive. Come over. Which leveling area around our jurisdiction is the most suitable for leveling, before level 10? Li Ming's two adjutants thought for a moment, and then answered truthfully. If you don't consider other leveling people robbing monsters, then the best leveling area is Breeze Plain. The Breeze Plain has a wide field of vision, no occlusion, and the monsters refresh quickly, are relatively dense, and have low aggressiveness. They are all yellow names. But it is because of these reasons that Breeze Plain is now the most popular leveling area for low-level professionals in Jiangning. There are even a few private idol guilds that organize leveling activities. Many high-level professionals bring low-level professionals to level up here. Basically, once the monster is brushed, it will disappear immediately, so the efficiency may not be high. Hearing this, Li Ming waved his hand. This is not a problem. Sunsheng, go to the warehouse and get some 90% experience contracts. The so-called exclusive experience contract is a kind of team contract, able to give someone in the party exclusive access to all kills. This kind of contract can be produced by dungeons, or it can be made by life professionals who have unlocked the Mystic Branch. But generally speaking, the proportion of contracts produced by high-difficulty dungeons will be higher. The 90% experience contract that Li Ming wants to get is undoubtedly the rare one. Zhao Chong, go and choose some top soldiers from our battalion, high sensitivity, high speed, such as thieves and archers, and come to a team of 50 people. These people are responsible for attracting monsters. Then form a firepower output lineup of 30 top-notch mages and gunners. Finally, you are a heavy armor defense class, and you are responsible for resisting monsters. Finally, call another 300 brothers to evacuate and maintain order. By the way, remember to ask those in charge of output and attracting monsters to prepare potions, repair weapons, and ensure efficiency. Zhao Chong was stupid. Boss, where are we going? Li Ming immediately kicked the adjutants, *** with a flying kick. Go to the private room for leveling. Why do you have so many problems? Don't you know about obeying orders? Zhao Chong groaned, then quickly stood up and said sonorously, yes, I promise to complete the task, leaving at the speed of light. At the same time, Breezy Plains. This place is indeed, as Sun Sheng said, crowded with people. It was almost the moment the monster just refreshed. There are several spells of light that light up, killing it in seconds. Under the protection of several high-level professionals in the family, Wang Ting also upgraded in this holy land of leveling. As a fighter class, he didn't master the AoE skills like Whirlwind before turning 2, so his leveling efficiency was a bit slow. But now, with the help of the Wang family's influence, many senior professionals in the family will help him make up for this shortcoming. Seeing his slowly growing experience, Wang Tong was very satisfied. Young master, the monster is coming. Please give way. A senior mage saw that the person from the Wang family who had gone to attract monsters came back, and immediately reminded Wang Teng to make way. Wang Ting also saw the dozen or so violent antelopes besieging a tank professional wearing heavy armor, backed off a little, and stood aside. The mage, standing in front of Wang Teng, waved his staff, chanted a spell, and released an AoE spell. However, just halfway through the mage's chant, he was shocked to find out a blizzard has suddenly descended on that group of violent antelopes. Obviously, he is a fire mage, and the chant was not completed. The professional royal tank professional in charge of fighting monsters screamed, and his blood volume was rapidly decreasing. It turned out that the blizzard even attacked him. He fully activated all his life-saving skills in an instant, and only managed to save his life by running away. At this moment, Wang Tong and others understood. This blizzard was not caused by their Wang family at all. Someone is stealing monsters. A large number of damage numbers appeared above the heads of the dozen or so violent antelopes that were shrouded in the blizzard, then died on the spot. It turned into strips of white experience streamers and flew to somewhere behind Wang Tong. Wang Ting looked in the direction where the experience streamer flew past. Just stupid. He saw a familiar figure. Lin Tian. It's him again. At this moment, Lin Tian was protected in the middle by more than a dozen soldiers wearing iron armor and extremely imposing manner. In an instant, Wang Ting felt a rush of blood and anger filled his chest. He said angrily, "You stole my blame." Brush. In an instant, a large group of cold eyes swept over. The murderous aura is extremely strong. The people Li Ming selected this time were all the best of the best. High level, strong occupation, good equipment. The most important thing is that they have all been on the battlefield. All they need is a look. The level of murderous aura is definitely not something a spoiled rich kid like Wang Tang can bear. At that moment, Wang Ting shrank his neck and shivered. A tall and strong soldier standing in front of Lin Tian snorted coldly, "Did you write your name?" Wang Tang was dumbfounded. He found that the Wang family professionals around him were also scared, because they suddenly discovered that the group of soldiers protecting Lin Tian was just leading the charge. Now a large group of soldiers from the Huban camp, wearing uniforms, numbering in the hundreds, have surrounded them. Dongjiang Iron Wall Army, Jiangning Huban Battalion, is carrying out secret military operations. The breeze plane has been designated as a restricted area. Everyone who is irrelevant, please leave immediately. Everyone in Wangtang is stupid. What a secret military operation. Obviously, he brought that Lin Tian here to level up, because Wang Ting saw that Lin Tian actually shrugged at him with a playful expression on his face. Wang Ting felt that his worldview had collapsed. Isn't he just a life profession? According to grandpa and father, isn't life occupation just iron waste? So who the hell is he? In other words, the mythical grenade used for the experimental detonation and the experience of slaughtering the Fong Fong swamp in the end are counted on the head of the little soldier Gongzi. But because this is a soy sauce character, I won't waste much time. Thanks for the ideas provided by the boss, so that the follow-up protagonist will simplify the leveling a lot, haha. The evaluation votes for this book have never been moved, so don't just give flowers, everyone. Give a few evaluation votes too. It would be even better to have monthly tickets and tips. Grateful. 011. Master, let's go. Young master, if you don't leave, we will withdraw first. As soon as Wang Tang turned his head, he saw that the so-called loyal retainers were all ready to put oil on their feet and run away. Wang Tang didn't even dare to take another look at Lin Tian, because it's too suffocating. Surrounded by a group of Real Tiger and Wolf Masters, he was almost breathless. Wang Tang could only run away. Leaving with Wang Tang, there are many low-level professionals who practiced in Breeze Plane. But Li Ming didn't do anything. The Breeze Plane is so big, it is impossible for him to monopolize the entire leveling area. In the end, it was just delineating the area where the Breeze Plane monsters refreshed most intensively, and the upgrade efficiency was the highest to upgrade Lin Tian. Therefore, many other professionals can also level up in other areas of Breeze Plane. It's just that they are all a little bit disappointed. Basically, few of them are focused on killing monsters and upgrading, and everyone is watching what the military is doing. Of course, among the group of black armored soldiers, there is an ordinary young man who also looks very eye-catching. There were even people from Jiangning No. 1 Middle School who recognized Lin Tian, but they could only watch with astonishment on Lin Tian's ease and upgrade under the protection of the soldiers of the Huban camp. The main reason is that these soldiers are also professional, and the people Li Ming asked the adjutant to transfer are all elites. Thieves and archers have the ability to transfer hatred, plus they move fast and can kite monsters. The efficiency of that pole monster is simply terrifying. He often drove the train directly, followed by hundreds of different monsters, and then used the hatred transfer skills to Zhao Chong, a warrior who majored in defense. After Zhao Chong's hatred stabilized, the mage squad, gunner squad, and archer squad in the back row fired in unison. Instantly kills a large number of monsters. Their level is far higher than the monsters in Breeze Plains, and they are punished with experience. But under the influence of 90% experience contracts, Lin Tian can still gain experience. He has no experience punishment. So almost every few minutes, a string of white experience streamers flew from the monster's body to Lin Tian's body. Lin Tian opened his panel and could clearly see that his experience bar was filling up rapidly. To a certain extent, the level can completely measure the strength of a monster or a professional. But upgrading is not so easy. Look at Wei Qing, 110 years old, and the level is only 45. On the one hand, the experience of upgrading demand is very outrageous. On the one hand, every job change is a hurdle. Some people can't pass the job change task, and they will be stuck at that level for the rest of their lives. More than an hour passed. Lin Tian finally saw that his experience bar was filled. The next moment, a golden light appeared from Lin Tian's body. He's upgraded. Lin Tian opened his personal data panel. Lin Tian level, LV.2. Occupation, life professional, job transfer status, no job transfer, skill, engineering, engineering formula, TB1 engineering grenade, power, 4 agility, 4 AI intelligence, 4 endurance, 4 earned free attribute points. 0 Lin Tian found that his all attributes had been increased by 1 point, from 3 to 4, but it doesn't have any free attributes. This is the most awkward part of life career. After the life occupation is upgraded, all attributes are increased by 1 point, and there is no free attribute. Combat professions will give additional bonuses to special attributes based on the characteristics of the profession. For example, the profession of the warrior department. Every time you upgrade, you will get 3 points of strength, 1 point for all other attributes, and 3 points for free attributes. If you are an output class, add strength. If you're taking defense talents, then add endurance. This is only the rewards obtained after leveling up for rank 1 fighters. After each job change, the rewards for upgrading will be more exaggerated. But life occupations do not get such treatment. One afternoon passed. It was getting late, and when the sun was setting, Lin Tian stretched himself after the golden light appeared on his body for the 4th time. It's actually quite boring to hang up and upgrade like this, and it was only upgraded to level 5 in one afternoon. But rising to level 5 means that he can unlock new engineering blueprint formulas. In fact, it is not an exaggeration to say that Lin Tian's upgrade speed is a rocket. Among the students in Class 3 of Number 1 Middle School, Wang Ting had the highest level before. After awakening and becoming the main combat profession, the Wang family spared no effort to help him upgrade. It's already level 3, but Lin Tian was promoted to level 5 in one afternoon. It is estimated that other students will be envious if they know about it. Lin Tian found Li Ming and said with a smile, "Thank you, Brother Ming, for taking me to upgrade. It's getting late now. If I come home late, my dad will be worried. In addition, I have already reached level 5, so I have to go to the job transfer hall to unlock the new engineering blueprint formula." Su Tianlong, who was standing next to Li Ming, had a look of excitement in his eyes. The two looked at each other and saw the excitement on the other's face. The small engineering grenade unlocked by LV-1 is already as powerful as a nuclear bomb. How powerful will the things unlocked by LV-5 be? Li Ming called Zhao Chong. Zhao Chong lost interest. The main reason is that he, a person of level 40 or 50, came to Breeze Plain to brush the antelope all afternoon. "I'm really about to throw up." Close the team. Don't put on a bad face. You feel like you've been busy for nothing all afternoon. Tell all the brothers that those who participated in the private leveling operation today will be credited with merit and will be rewarded for subsequent meritorious deeds, which can be exchanged for some resources. Zhao Chong directly changed his face in Sichuan opera. Overjoyed. "Yes, boss." Zhao Chong went to inform the soldiers of Huban camp who had been depressed for a long time. In an instant, Lin Tian heard cheers from behind him. Li Ming and Su Tianlong led Lin Tian to the city. The originally brilliant sunset glow in the west has disappeared at some point. A series of strange black clouds appeared in the sky. These black clouds are constantly churning and churning, as if some kind of weirdness is growing in them. It made Li Ming and Su Tianlong, two professionals in the transcendent realm, frown. "I have an uneasy feeling. It doesn't look like a good omen." But when the three of them returned to Jiangning City, the ominous black clouds in the sky also disappeared. Lin Tian entered the job transfer hall, and in the center of the hall was a bright blue crystal suspended in midair. This is the job-changing God Stone. When Lin Tian awakened his profession a few days ago, it was here. The job-changing God Stone is somewhat similar to the system in the game. Various operations such as changing jobs, receiving tasks, and unlocking formulas all need to be carried out through it. Lin Tian stepped forward and reached out to touch the job-changing God Stone. He also has some expectations. What is the recipe for my next unlock? 012. The job-changing God Stone starts with ice cold. The tactile feeling is very strange. It doesn't feel like a solid piece. Instead, it resembled some kind of jelly-like gel. Just a few seconds after touching the job-changing God Stone, Lin Tian felt an instruction that only he understood from the job-changing God Stone. Detecting the type of professional, checking the professional level, checking professional branch skills, and the detection is successful. The level is up to standard. Start drawing engineering LV5 formula. Although Blue Star has a very large number of life professionals, even if every life professional knows engineering, the recipes unlocked at different levels are also random. What is unlocked here in the Awakening God Stone is what it is. In fact, this is also a way for life professionals to survive. Because if everyone was going to make the same recipe, there would be too much competition. The job-changing God Stone randomly distributes formulas, which also avoids too serious introversion to a certain extent. If everyone has a different recipe, lifestyle professionals can also gain a small advantage by having something that only they can make. Soon, the job-changing Godstone replied to Lin Tian. Congratulations on unlocking the engineering branch LV5 blueprint. Particle shield generator. How about it, brother Lin Tian? Have you unlocked any new blueprints? Seeing that Lin Tian opened his eyes, Li Ming should have already communicated with the Godstone who changed his job, so he couldn't bear his temper, and quickly stretched his head over to ask. Lin Tian, particle shield generator. Li Ming and Su Tianlong looked at each other. It's all bright. Shield generator. This seems to be an engineering creation with a focus on defense. They seem to have heard it somewhere. After a long time, Su Tianlong, the director of the education department, was well informed and remembered where he had seen this thing before. The normal version of the particle shield generator, to be honest, has a very limited range of applications. Basically, the shields made by ordinary life professionals can absorb only about 500 points of damage, and the duration also depends on the built-in power supply. The shield coverage produced by most particle shield generators is also extremely limited. At most, it ranges from tens of cubic centimeters to several cubic meters. Basically, only museums and exhibition halls will place a shield generator under the exhibit cabinets and generate shields above to protect the exhibits. The defense against ordinary people is not bad. After all, there are not many ordinary people who can cause 500 points of damage and break through the upper limit. But for the main battle professional, this thing is basically the same as nothing. So basically, for ordinary professionals, this creation is very tasteless. If anyone gets this blueprint randomly, it's really too late to cry. After Su Tianlong finished speaking, he looked at Lin Tian expectantly. However, the chicken ribs in other people's hands may be worth a lot in your hands. Su Tianlong and Li Ming are two people. At the same time entered fantasy time. An LV-1 ordinary engineering grenade that was about as powerful as a cannonball turned into a nuclear bomb after being promoted to the mythical level in Lin Tian's hands. The shield generator that acts as a glass cover is in Lin Tian's hands. What will become? For a long time, the two stopped fantasizing. Excuse me. Their imaginations are somewhat lacking. Because the Xinhua class is a super standard existence. So far, the highest quality props they have seen are only limited to purple rare grades. For most main combat professionals, the equipment they wear is ordinary white equipment, then mixed with a few excellent level green outfits. It would be great to have a few blue outfits. Even Su Tianlong and Li Ming, who have reached the 3rd rank and above, are also equipped with blue outfits as the base, with a few purple outfits mixed in. And the grade of the purple outfit is only the 4th grade. There are 3 major grades of rare, legendary, and epic before reaching the mythical grade. Do not care. Let him make it first, and then test it to know. Su Tianlong was the first to speak. Student Lin Tian, look at the recipe. What materials are needed? We will try our best to help you make up. Li Ming also patted his chest boldly and said to himself, if the stock in their education department is not enough, the materials and resources in our warehouse in Huban camp can be used by you. Seeing how confident the two were, Lin Tian immediately uttered a long list of materials. 50 high-level elemental crystals, 3 pieces of Sanshui Lilian, 5 kilograms of star iron, or with a purity of more than 90%. Almost at the moment when Lin Tian opened his mouth to read out the first material, Su Tianlong's eyelids were beating wildly. In the follow-up, every time Lin Tian read a material, he would tremble. Because these materials, he has heard, are scarce. Small quantity. Most importantly, it's expensive. Even in the entire Jiangning city, the inventory may not be too much. After Lin Tian said the last material, both Li Ming and Su Tianlong frowned. A colorful fluorite. Su Tianlong. Although the materials in front are rare, they are still easy to get. I have never heard of this colorful fluorite. Li Ming also scratched his head. I haven't heard of this thing either. I'll ask my subordinates to check the warehouse to see if there are any. Su Tianlong patted Lin Tian on the shoulder and promised. Student Lin Tian, it's getting late. Let's take you home first. Then take a good rest. Don't worry about the material problem. We will spare no effort to help you find it. You just need to be responsible for the production. Lin Tian was very grateful. It is a blessing to have such a good senior and a good teacher. Lin Tian also found out that even if he crossed over to the Dragon Kingdom in another world, the taste did not change. The country still attaches so much importance to the cultivation and protection of talents. After Su Tianlong and Li Ming sent Lin Tian home, they also said goodbye to each other. Li Ming wanted to go back to check the warehouse and take out all the materials Lin Tian needed. Obviously, it is already the attitude of a mythical investor. After all, if the next mythical item comes out, he will also have a contribution. What an honor. And Su Tianlong returned to the education department. An emergency meeting was called. Everyone, I don't care what you are busy with right now, just put it aside. Tonight, everyone go to the big library and search for documents. Find out for me what kind of material the colorful fluorite is, where it drops, or how to get it. The time limit is tomorrow morning. I must find it. 013. Su Tianlong, the domineering president, gave an order. In an instant, all the social animals in the education department collapsed. Tomorrow is Saturday. Good weekend is over. How about burning the midnight oil and working overtime in the library? But everyone didn't dare to make trouble in front of Su Tianlong. They could only smile on their faces and MMP in their hearts. Midnight. The big library in Jiangning City was still brightly lit. Numerous staff members of the Department of Education swim in the ocean of books with thick, dark circles under their eyes. From the first year of the cataclysm to the present, the knowledge and technology of human beings have been completely overthrown. But the understanding of the new world and various rules, matters, and the habits and weaknesses of various monsters, strategies for various copies, and drops. There are also sources of various equipment, props, blueprints, and materials. It really boils down to that. Even if the inherent knowledge of these 100 years has been overturned, restudied, and then re-recorded, the old knowledge is still valuable and cannot be deleted. Therefore, the condensed exploration of the new world by all human beings in the past 100 years is really no less than the knowledge of thousands of years of human beings. Until 5 o'clock in the morning, a clerk from the education department wearing thick glasses danced wildly and shouted loudly in the silent library, "Grass! I found it! I finally found it! I found the literature about colorful fluorite. One stone stirs up 1,000 waves." Even though Wei Qing, who had already dozed off in the corner and enjoyed commanding his subordinates to look up information, suddenly became a little sober. He is Lin Tian's principal. I really care about this good seed in my heart. I also have a very good friendship with Su Tianlong. Take the initiative to ask Ying to help Lin Tian check the information. Unexpectedly, in the middle of the night, when he was getting older and couldn't stand it any longer, Wei Qing began to take a nap to catch fish. Now I am surprised that someone has found the information. In a dying illness, the coffin was revealed. Of course, Su Tianlong, the leader, didn't go to rest either, and was also fighting at night with the lights on. Now I heard that the subordinates finally found out. Instantly excited, everyone gathered around the Glasses brother, and the Glasses brother also read the contents of the document aloud. Colorful fluorite is an extremely rare elemental material. The main purpose is to serve as the core drive of some energy devices, which can enable the energy device to exert an unimaginable battery life. Su Tianlong nodded secretly in his heart. That's right. No wonder this thing is the most important in Lin Tian's list of materials needed. It turned out to be a necessity for the manufacture of the core components that power the particle shield generator. What about the source? Did you say it? The Glasses brother is also very excited. He enjoyed the feeling of being surrounded by people. And Su Tianlong said before that overtime pay will be paid today, and whoever finds the clue will directly double the year-end bonus. Social animals really don't ask for much. It's nothing more than a promotion and a raise. The Glasses brother nodded frantically. Yes, yes, yes. Colorful fluorite is a material dropped by the world, not limited to the output in the instance. All Earth elemental creatures in the world have a chance to drop, and the drop probability. Damn it, the Glasses brother was a little numb when he saw the drop rate. Don't you G gasp. What's the drop rate? The Glasses brother adjusted his glasses before continuing. 1/1,000,000th. Everyone heard the words. It's all numb. No wonder this thing is so rare. Grass. An average of 1,000,000 Earth elementals are killed, and there is only one hope of dropping colorful fluorite. It's a ghost that this can appear in Jiangning's warehouse. Su Tianlong pinched the bridge of his nose. He has a headache. Such a rare material, Jiangning's business firm will definitely not have it, and the warehouses of the education department and the military have all been counted, and there is no colorful fluorite. And if you want to go to other more advanced and richer base cities in Dongjiang province to seek goods, you may be lucky. Perhaps only Linen, the richest man in Dongjiang province, could have 100% stock. Su Tianlong thought for a moment and finally shook his head. It's really too far to go to Linen. It will take at least a week to go back and forth. I don't know if Lin Tian will wait until that time. Another possibility is brush. Hard brush. Just brush this thing out. Fortunately, around Jiangning, there is indeed a leveling area called Quangsha Canyon. The canyon is full of earth elemental monsters around level 20. The problem now is that if Li Ming is asked to dispatch the Huban camp, at most thousands of people will be mobilized to support the sky. After all, city defense is a big deal, not a child's play, and it is impossible for the whole camp to help Lin Tian collect materials. And if there are only thousands of people, that efficiency is really not high enough. Who knows how long it will take to get it out? Just when Su Tianlong was at a loss, Wei Qing coughed and dragged Su Tianlong to a remote corner. Let's make 3 preparations. First of all, let your subordinates go to Linen to see if they can buy colorful fluorite. Secondly, contact Li Ming and ask him to see if he can transfer someone to help you generate the colorful fluorite. Su Tianlong nodded. These were the last 2 things he could think of. He was curious what Wei Qing's third idea was. Finally, please contact our city chief. He is in charge of Jiangning's professional alliance. There are more than 100,000 main combat professionals in our entire Jiangning city. Why not let these people join in? Su Tianlong felt enlightened in an instant. Wei Qing provided him with an idea that he had never imagined before. Yes, the professionals in the entire Jiangning city are all high-quality leaks. Moreover, these people are all prosperous in the world, all for profit, and the world is full of hustle and bustle, and they are all models of profit. They are not attached to any organization. As long as the price is high enough, they are mercenaries and can do anything. The professional union releases hundreds of tasks for these professionals every day. Those who are looking for objects, those who help make copies, and those who are looking for materials. Everything. Contact the head of the city directly and ask him to release a mission of the highest level and give him enough rewards. It will make them flock to it. The problem is not solved. Su Tianlong took a deep breath and patted his old friend on the shoulder. You still have a quick brain. I have been in the top position for a long time, and my thinking is a little rigid. Su Tianlong glanced at the pale sky outside the window. He stood up, stretched his muscles and bones, and the fatigue from not sleeping all night was swept away. He plans to do this right away. 014. Ha, Lin Tian yawned. Into the classroom. In fact, the early self-study started early, and Lin Tian arrived at least half an hour late. The main reason is that I was a little troubled yesterday and slept a little bit at night. It's too late to get up. Traveling to this world seems to be no different from the previous world. Go to school also ate early. Going to work is also ate early. Early ate to go horse riding. It's just that even if Lin Tian is late now, Xiaolon, the class teacher, won't say much. As soon as Lin Tian appeared, he found that the atmosphere in the class was a little different. Because at this moment, both boys and girls are looking at themselves with extremely weird eyes. There is envy, there is jealousy. There was even fear in Wang Teng's eyes. It was obvious that he was frightened by the death stares of several soldiers from Huban camp yesterday. Seeing Lin Tian coming, Xiaolon told the whole class with a smile. Everyone, all the teachers in the actual combat class have something to go out to ask for leave today, and all of them have been changed to self-study classes. Teacher Su from the history class said that he would occupy 2 self-study classes. Xiaolon left after speaking. Leave the students for self-study. As soon as Xiaolon, the head teacher, left, Lin Tian heard the heart-piercing wailing of the students around him. The actual combat class is just like the physical education class in Lin Tian's last life. It is what most people expect. Helplessly, the physical education teacher in the previous life was weak and sick. In this life, the only ones who can teach actual combat are the main combat professionals. It is impossible to be weak and sick. Moreover, the background of the times determines that there are more practical courses than theoretical courses. Now the actual combat class teachers have all asked for leave. It's so strange today. It seems that there are more than half of the people on the street. Yes, I found out too. Have you observed carefully? Those who are walking on the road now are either ordinary people or life professionals. Those main combat professionals with weapons and armors seem to have all disappeared. Your village is connected to the internet. They are all on missions. What mission? My dad is the main battle professional. He told me that early this morning, the president of the professional union released an S-level mission. This is the highest level mission in Jiangning's history. The task requires a certain rare material, which can only be dropped in Quangsha Canyon. The reward for this task is a complete 5-piece set of rare armor. So now all the professionals in the city seem to have gone to Quangsha Canyon. Lin Tian pricked up his ears to listen to the discussion of his classmates. He seems to understand something. Huangsha Canyon is about 100 kilometers away from Jiangning City. This canyon runs east to west. Perhaps because of the terrain, the violent westerly wind blows up the yellow sand all the year round, except for a large number of yellow sand elemental creatures in the canyon. There are also many creatures that only appear in dry sand. Scorpions and rattlesnakes are venomous monsters, coupled with the complex environment here and the quicksand traps that can be seen everywhere. It turned this leveling area into a high-risk leveling area, almost like the Fang Swamp. The level of monsters is not low, generally around level 25. However, here today, it can only be described as crowded and overcrowded. The entire Huangsha Canyon was densely packed with people. It's not that the area of this canyon is large enough, it may not be able to accommodate so many people. The fierce westerly wind that howled in the canyon all the year round was a little unable to blow because of the crowded crowds. As for the monsters in the canyon, it was even more miserable. Almost as soon as it was refreshed, it was instantly killed. I couldn't even open my eyes to see the world. Above the canyon, on the towering cliffs, there are teams of soldiers from the Huban battalion guarding them. Protect Su Tianlong, the director of the education department, and a middle-aged man with a slightly fatter figure and a kind face beside him. The fat middle-aged man is Wang Zhizhong, the president of the Jiangning City Professionals Union. At the same time, it is also the capital of Jiangning City. In front of Wang Zhizhong and Su Tianlong, there was a cloth armor suit emitting a lavender light. This set is called Skylight Purple Shadow Set, and its bonus to legal professions is terrifying, which is why all the professionals in Jiangning are crazy. This is a purple outfit, a purple dress that you may never see in your life, and it's a purple suit. After the suits are assembled, there are 2-piece and 4-piece sets. Great improvement. Wang Zhizhong sighed. Old Su, I also believed you're evil. For the super genius you said, I even took out the treasures at the bottom of the Alliance's treasury as rewards. Hope he doesn't disappoint me. In fact, Wang Zhizhong received a report from Su Tianlong a few days ago. Send Wang Zhizhong all the videos of Lin Tian's talent and mythical grenade detonation test. Wang Zhizhong is just not forgiving now. In fact, he was already happy in his heart, and he also regarded Lin Tian as a treasure. Such a peerless genius. If you don't devote all your energy to cultivating, you will be reckless. In addition, Wang Zhizhong and Su Tianlong have similar ideas, and they are both far-sighted. They know that Lin Tian is not a thing in the pool. One day it will skyrocket to 90,000 miles. The shallow water in the small Jiangning is not a place for him, a real dragon, to show his strength. But he hoped that when Lin Tianjin reached the top in the future, he would miss his hometown. Will suffice. Below the cliff, countless professionals have already formed a team and discussed how to divide the spoils if the goods are shipped. In a more professional team, everyone even took a bottle of potion that increases the drop rate of monster props, then began to kill monsters 24 hours a day. There are not only a large number of main combat professionals in the canyon, there are also many life professions who have unlocked pharmacy. Because of such high-intensity killing monsters, supply is a big problem. There are already several life professionals pushing small carts, running desperately in the canyon, selling their own recovery potions and mana recovery potions. They are all level 1. If there were not so many main combat professionals here to spawn monsters, they would not dare to enter the Huangsha Canyon if they had 100,000 guts. The situation is different now, but if a monster spawns and survives for 1 second, it is already a miracle. 015. All day long, in Huangsha Canyon, there were sounds of guns firing and swords clashing everywhere. The ice arrow and fireball flew across the air, bombarding the monster with the sound of explosion. Of course, there are all kinds of curses one after another. There are so many teams in the entire canyon. You robbed my monster. I robbed your monster. Friction between each other is quite normal. There are even those who fight directly. In this regard, the soldiers of the Iron Wall army stationed in this canyon to maintain order did not interfere too much. Time gradually arrived in the evening. Su Tianlong and Wang Zhizhong, who had been sitting on the cliff watching for a whole day, couldn't bear it any longer. Mainly boring. They can't wait to end the game and help Lin Tian fight monsters and collect materials. Otherwise, just sitting like this is really boring. And at this moment, Su Tianlong looked up at the end of the western sky again. The weird and ominous black cloud from last night appeared again. Covering the brilliant sunset, it looks extremely weird and gloomy. Wang Zhizhong's nose moved, and he sniffed carefully. There is a bloody smell. Did you smell it? Su Tianlong also nodded solemnly. Something is wrong. Something is really wrong. However, when night fell, the weird smell of blood in the air and the weird black clouds in the sky disappeared again. Everything seems to be back on track, but the two of them had already made up their minds, and they wanted to ask Li Ming to send someone to find out what was going on. Otherwise, they will have trouble sleeping and eating. Several more hours passed. Under the cold moonlight, Huangsha Canyon was still overcrowded. Su Tianlong could still stand it, but Wang Zhizhong really couldn't. He is getting old, and he is not a professional, but an ordinary person, so he plans to take a rest. But at this moment, someone suddenly screamed excitedly in the canyon below. Ha 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 ha. I brushed it out. Colorful fluorite. This is it. Hearing this, Su Tianlong hurried to the edge of the cliff and looked down. I saw a warrior wearing heavy armor, who was obviously a defense professional, holding a diamond-shaped crystal that shone with rainbow luster in his hand. It seems that this is the colorful fluorite. Su Tianlong showed joy on his face. Standing behind him, Wang Zhizhong, who was afraid of heights and didn't dare to look down, heaved a sigh of relief. Good luck. It only took a day to get it out. However, something unexpected but reasonable happened in the canyon below. That Fangzhan might have vomited from spawning monsters for real. After seeing that he really spawned colorful fluorites, he yelled excitedly. But it also instantly attracted the attention of other professionals. People are jealous. And in this kind of time when everyone has worked hard for a day and got nothing, seeing other people come out, everyone will be overwhelmed. It's like you didn't ship the card when you drew the card, but there was a dog who picked up the goods and posted the card on your face. How bearable is this? Immediately, countless attacks flew towards this person. They want to kill and seize treasure. Even in the era of catastrophe, the Dragon Kingdom still has strict laws. But the influence of all laws in this era is not as great as in peacetime. The law of the jungle is the most basic rule. Other professionals who are red-eyed, how can they control so much? The next day, Lin Tian received a notification from Wei Qing. That is, he does not need to come to class every day in the future. Because for a special talent like him, there is no need to study any theoretical courses. Lin Tian is free to arrange his own time. In addition, Su Tianlong also reorganized the Municipal Engineering Laboratory under the jurisdiction of the Education Department and added a lot of new instruments and tools. He also prepared several hardworking and high-quality assistants for Lin Tian who were in charge of laying hands. In the follow-up, Lin Tian can go directly to the laboratory of the Education Department to make things. The moment Lin Tian stepped into this brand new laboratory, he was also a little surprised. Those who engage in engineering generally have a mess in their workshops. Lots of wrenches, screws, and a mess of material molds are strewn about. But this exclusive workshop of his own is clean and tidy, and there are people in charge of helping him. This efficiency will be much faster. What surprised Lin Tian even more was that on the operating table, the complete set of materials needed to manufacture the particle shield generator by himself were neatly placed. In the middle is the diamond-shaped crystal that shimmers in iridescent colors. There is no doubt that it is colorful fluorite. To be honest, Lin Tian was a little moved. He knew how expensive these materials were, and how hard-won this colorful fluorite was. He felt that Su Tianlong and even the entire Jiangning City's top management valued him. This also made Lin Tian full of fighting spirit. The production of the particle shield generator began immediately. Lin Tian started to get busy. Compared with the grenade, the manufacturing difficulty of this particle shield generator is not an order of magnitude at all. The internal structure is complex and there are many devices. At least the two apprentices who helped Lin Tian were stunned. They are also experts in engineering. Skill proficiency is not low. But sometimes Lin Tian works a little faster, and they can't keep up with Lin Tian's thinking. I can only marvel that there are really geniuses born with knowledge in this world. But even so, the progress is still not fast. One morning passed, and it was only half completed. But at this time, the two assistants couldn't help Lin Tian at all. Lin Tian waved his hand. Go and rest. I will do the rest by myself. In fact, Lin Tian didn't want to be disturbed, because these two people have completely turned into their own fanboys and licking dogs, and they were originally students. He completely regarded Lin Tian as a teacher. When I saw something I didn't understand, I couldn't resist asking questions. Lin Tian's answer will disrupt his thinking, and he will not respect people if he does not answer. So he can only do this. The two assistants actually knew that they had asked too much. One of the girls stuck out her tongue and thanked Lin Tian, teacher, before leaving. After the two little assistants left, Lin Tian let out a sigh of relief. The work that requires more people to improve efficiency has been done, and the rest is the assembly and welding of various devices, as well as the wiring. This also takes time. Lin Tian glanced at the wall clock on the wall. This particle shield generator is really going to be made, at least until 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Lin Tian's experimental workshop has excellent sound insulation. He didn't hear the outside world at all at the moment. The entire Jiangning base city was ringing with shrill sirens. 016. Beep, beep, beep. In every corner of Jiangning City, everyone stopped what they were doing. They all heard the siren sound from the giant loudspeaker above the Jiangning City Professionals Union building. In this era of cataclysm, wars between humans have almost disappeared, because facing natural disasters and all kinds of terrible monsters has exhausted everyone. How can there be leisure in the nest? Therefore, the alerts of countries around the world are basically not alerts such as airstrikes. Generally, it is some terrible natural disasters, such as super typhoons, some unexplained sky fires, meteorites, and so on. Everyone who grew up in Base City has been trained in various siren sounds. Now these 3 sounds are lower pitched, but all are long sirens. It means monsters attack the city. It is also commonly known as the attack of the beast tide. At the moment when the alarm sounded, Su Tianlong, who was sitting in his office, jumped up directly. Beast tide? When was the last beast tide in Jiangning? He has long forgotten that the stability of so many years has even made the people in this city forget the fear of being attacked by terrifying monsters that are overwhelming, dense, and extremely cruel. Su Tianlong suddenly felt his scalp go numb. A few days ago, I saw the strange black clouds and the strange smell of blood that appeared in the evening. It's an omen. Su Tianlong picked up the phone on the table and called Li Ming. Su Tianlong didn't expect Li Ming to answer his call, because now he is probably in command before the battle. Hello? Who knew that Li Ming would actually pick it up? Su Tianlong didn't talk nonsense and quickly said, "What's the situation? The Outer Great Wall Army has fallen?" Dragon Kingdom's military is divided into 3 different branches. The first is the Iron Wall Army that Li Ming and others belong to. Just like the code name of this army, its main function is to be stationed in each base city to maintain the peace and stability of the base city. At the same time, resist the beast tide and natural disasters. The Great Wall Army is a more peripheral defensive force. The provincial division of Longhua is that the area where dozens of base cities are connected together is designated as a province. Jiangning belongs to Dongjiang Province. Delineate a defensive circle around the entire province, and garrison troops are the Great Wall Army. Therefore, the reason for most of the beast swarms may be that the Great Wall Army stationed on the outskirts of the provincial area was breached by the beast swarms, and the beast swarms went deep into the hinterland of the province to cause chaos. Generally speaking, beast hordes of this level are very terrifying, because if they want to break through the Great Wall Army and invade the interior, the number and average level of the beast hordes must be extremely terrifying. Li Ming, yesterday you told me that there was something wrong with the black cloud and blood, so I sent my scouts out to investigate, and I just received a reply. Those black clouds and blood gas appeared because dozens of different dimension cracks appeared more than 300 kilometers to the west of us. Since that evening, monsters corrupted by a strange black curse have appeared in those cracks, mainly land creatures such as wolves, tigers, and leopards. The number is still being counted, but at least it is at the level above the second-level beast horde. We only issued the alarm after confirming that they will definitely pass through Jiangning if they continue to move forward. Su Tianlong breathed a sigh of relief when he heard that. At least he didn't break through the level of the Great Wall Army's beast tide. The animal swarm, like other disasters, is divided into levels. The slightest one is the first-level beast swarm. The scale of the beast swarm is about 10,000, and basically all base cities can easily handle it. The scariest thing is the level 5 beast tide. That is a real mountain of beasts and a sea of beasts, numbering in the tens of millions. That is already a terrifying force enough to rewrite the blue star's landform pattern. So far, none of the base cities that have encountered a level 5 beast horde has been spared. Even the influence of level 5 beast horde is calculated based on country. How is little brother Lin? Before I stayed in the experimental workshop I prepared for him. Now, having said this, Su Tianlong's complexion changed dramatically. The sound insulation in that workshop is very good. It is likely that he didn't hear the alarm. I'm going to inform him now. By the way, he also has a father who works in the XXX mine. You arrange for the people under you to be responsible for the evacuation and transfer him first. Lin Tian is a special talent, and the Dragon Kingdom gave extra preferential treatment to the relatives of special talents. When the beast horde is coming, it is understandable to evacuate first. Su Tianlong hung up the phone directly without taking anything. Cyclonus went downstairs and went straight to Lin Tian's laboratory. After a while, Su Tianlong met a large group of panic-stricken citizens fleeing towards Jiangning's underground bunker. These people are scrambling to be the first, advancing like a wave. But in the crowd, there are still people who come against the current. Su Tianlong soon discovered that it was Wang Zhizhong. The mayor and the president of the professional union were escorted by the soldiers of the Huban camp, heading in the same direction as him. The two soon meet. Su Tianlong hasn't spoken yet. Wang Zhizhong said anxiously, "What about Lin Tian? I was escorted to the underground bunker just now, but I didn't see him along the way. Shouldn't he also be escorted and evacuated first?" Su Tianlong waved his hand. He was in the laboratory before the beast horde came, and he probably wouldn't hear the alarm, so stop talking and go. 017. The measurement of the scale and quantity of the beast horde is basically completed. About 340,000 land beasts, no flying beasts, and the average level is 25. According to the moving speed of the beast swarm, in about an hour, the beast swarm will reach the periphery of our defense line, the headquarters of the Iron Wall Army Huban Battalion. Li Ming also received the exact information about the beast tide from his subordinates. Now the entire Huban Battalion has moved into action, ready to fight the beast horde. Li Ming, that's the third-level beast horde. Reissue a more detailed evacuation warning for the beast horde. In addition, I will send my military order, and everyone is ready. Prepare to fight. Yes. After Li Ming knew it was a level 3 beast horde. In fact, my heart is already half cold. It's not that he doesn't trust the soldiers under him, but that there are too many monsters attacking this time. The garrison of the entire Jiangning Iron Wall Army is more than 10,000. Even now, the Professionals Association has released the highest level reward task, temporarily recruiting thousands of main combat professionals in the city to join the battle against the beast horde. It can be regarded as a drop in the bucket. The enemy is dozens of times stronger than our own. Even if our side is full of elites, this battle is doomed to be tragic. Soon, the military headquarters of Dongjiang Province also received specific information about the beast tide and a request for help from Li Ming. The matter was urgent, and the military department of Dongjiang Province called everyone together for a brief emergency meeting. At the same time, this matter was reported layer by layer, reaching Tianting. It has been more than 10 years since the third-level beast tide appeared in the Dragon Kingdom. Instant attention. Dragon Kingdom will not give up any city, will not give up on anyone. This beast tide must be stopped. Dongjiang began to deploy the rescue plan. The 4 base cities near Jiangning, Shishui, Yayuan, Huxia, and Chongping all immediately mobilized the garrison Iron Wall Army to help Jiangning. Then a certain unit of the Great Wall Army stationed near Jiangning City in Jiangdong Province also dispatched air cavalry troops, marching hundreds of miles in a hurry, flying towards Jiangning. The unity of Longhua people in the face of crisis is engraved in their flesh and blood. Many programs that should be omitted are omitted and executed directly. In times of crisis, there is only responsibility. But even so, after the military of Dongjiang Province actually saw the dense beast tide through some surveillance ruins, still feel bad. The beast horde will raid Jiangning in an hour, and the garrison army is only 10,000. The fastest reinforcements will take at least 2 hours to arrive. This 1-hour window period is the life and death time of the Jiangning Iron Wall Army. 10,000 vs. 300,000. No matter how you think about it, you feel hopeless. The better result was that Jiangning suffered heavy losses. The Iron Wall Army defended to the last man, and then the residents in the city were killed and injured over 100. In the end, the beast horde crossed the border, and several base cities behind Jiangning sent troops to wipe it out again. And Jiangning could only be in the ruins, licking his wounds, his vitality severely injured. The worst-case scenario is that the Iron Wall Army is completely wiped out, and the residents of Jiangning Base City are almost completely wiped out. Then this base city was removed from Dragon Kingdom. Several official news media of Longhua have all received the news. Therefore, they all use their own communication formations and runes to broadcast the real-time broadcast of Jiangning's resistance to the beast tide across the country. Ever since, the focus of the eyes of the people of the whole country has gathered on the small city of Jiangning. Through the bird's-eye view, you can see that the Iron Wall Army stationed in Jiangning City has been deployed in advance, and they are ready to fight. And the beast horde is still on the way. Let us cheer for the soldiers defending the city of Jiangning. I also pray for the small city of Jiangning. I hope it can survive the most difficult moment. With the help of the media, the news that Jiangning City encountered a once-in-a-10-year horde of third-level beasts directly rushed into the trending searches. After receiving the news, countless people from other base cities came to the official live broadcast room to cheer for Jiangning. Su Tianlong and Wang Zhizhong didn't knock on the door, but rushed into Lin Tian's experimental workshop in a hurry. The next moment, they saw Lin Tian calmly continuing the final assembly of the particle shield generator. Lin Tian, the beast tide is coming. Let's go. Evacuate first. Lin Tian didn't seem to hear what Su Tianlong was saying. He is incredibly focused. Because now is the real critical moment. If you get distracted, or your hands slip, it will all be a failure. I won't leave. Now is a critical moment. If I leave, the materials you have worked so hard to find for me will be scrapped. Wang Zhizhong was really anxious and quickly said, if the materials are gone, we can find them again, but your safety is our first consideration. The mayor kept a word in his heart and didn't say it. That is even if the entire Jiangning base city is dead. He also needs to evacuate Lin Tian first to ensure his safety. Lin Tian, let's go. If you don't leave, it will be too late. Su Tianlong glanced at the flow of people who had gone to the underground bunker and was about to disappear, feeling a little anxious. Underground bunkers are also limited, because it was built decades ago when Jiangning was founded. The population of Jiangning City at that time was very different from the current population. Insufficient space in the underground bunker is a sure thing. If it was later, it might not be possible to get in. They can't really drive people out from inside and let Lin Tian hide in, right? Seeing that Lin Tian was still as motionless as a mountain, Su Tianlong felt ruthless in his heart. He intends to use it strong. Take Lin Tian away directly. Whatever he said, he wanted to save Lin Tian. Absolutely cannot let such an astonishing genius die here. However, as soon as he took a step, it seemed that Lin Tian had sensed his intentions. Lin Tian sighed, and then said angrily, whether it is life or death, that is also my life. It should be up to me to make the decision. My decision is not to go. I am here until I finish my work. At this moment, the soldiers guarding outside the city, who are about to use their flesh and blood to form the real Jiangning Iron Wall, also believe that they can guard the home behind them. Me too. I believe in my work. I believe it can save everything. Su Tianlong stopped. Wang Zhizhong opened his mouth on one side, which finally turned into a sigh. The next moment, the two sat down one after another. They were all moved by the spirit and strength of Lin Tian's words. Not everyone has the courage to stand still when the tide of beasts is already in front of them. What's more, this is just a boy who is less than 17 years old. Wang Zhizhong smiled wryly. Forget it, I don't want my old life anymore. Today I risk my life to accompany the gentleman. If you believe in your works, then I will believe in you. Seeing this, Su Tianlong showed a helpless and gratified smile on his face. I feel that I have lived in vain for more than 100 years. I am so old that I am not as clear as you. Awakening is not as high as yours. Lin Tian, with your integrity and courage, you will surely achieve great things in the future. 018. Jiangning Underground Bunker. The elderly, the weak, the sick, the disabled, women and children were arranged to enter safer deep shelters as soon as possible. Strong Year also consciously guarded near the exit of the bunker. Lin Tian's father, Lin Zhenhua, was protected by several soldiers from the Huban battalion, occupying the best position. Almost as soon as the beast horde started to evacuate, the group of soldiers found Lin Zhenhua and took him away. I don't need your protection. I'm going to find my son. Lin Zhenhua's face was full of sadness. Mr. Lin, don't worry. Your son was ordered by our chief to be under special protection, and he should have been transferred to a safe place to avoid danger. If you go out rashly, you might worry him. The soldiers standing next to Lin Zhenhua kindly persuaded him that they had repeated these words countless times, and their mouths were blistered. But Lin Zhenhua didn't see his son, so he always wanted to rush out to look for it. At the exit of the bunker in the dungeon, there were still rows of soldiers from the Huban camp preparing for battle. If the defenses on the outskirts of the city fall, they will be the last line of defense. Outside Jiangning City, tens of thousands of elite soldiers are waiting in battle. Their eyes are firm and resolute. The weapons in their hands have been polished, and they are waiting for the beast horde to come, and they will fight to the death. These elite soldiers are the first line of defense. The second line of defense is composed of most of the main combat professionals above level 30 in Jiangning City. They were mobilized by the President Wang Zhizhong and temporarily recruited by Li Ming. It has become the backbone of the second wave against the beast tide. Above the sky, strange black clouds gradually diffused. The black clouds overwhelmed the city, and the wind howled. Xiaosha's atmosphere was extremely intense. 1 hour passed very quickly. The moment when the torrential rain fell like a pouring rain. Everyone saw a black line at the end of their line of sight. It was a black line that was still pulsating and changing, and with the eyesight of a level 73 rank extraordinary professional like Li Ming, he could see it. It was a terrifying monster with ferocious fangs. A thick black strange aura lingered on his body. There are all kinds of lions, wolves, tigers, and leopards. All of them had red eyes, extremely cruel. Li Ming stood at the forefront of the queue, took a deep breath, and shouted loudly like a bell. All the soldiers of the tiger camp, get ready to face the beast tide. Behind you are tens of thousands of families. They are your dear relatives, brothers and sisters. What we have to do is to buy enough time for the reinforcements. The first wave of reinforcements is the brothers Yunqi from the Great Wall Army on the outskirts. They will arrive in about an hour. This war is bound to involve bloodshed and sacrifices. Do you have the confidence to use your own lives to defend the safety of tens of millions of people in Jiangning? Have. Kill. 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 The roar shook the sky, and the morale was high. This scene was conveyed to the eyes of thousands of Dragon Country viewers who were paying attention to this Jiangning defensive battle. Come on. Be sure to keep it. I'm too old to see these things. It's so tragic. How can the years be quiet? It's just that someone is carrying the burden for us. I have also personally experienced several beast hordes. My father and my uncles were also members of the Iron Wall Army. They died heroically in a defensive battle more than 10 years ago. In a few months, I will also enter the barracks and inherit their glory and will. Brother, salute you. Salute them. Pay tribute. The official live broadcast room was instantly filled with massive barrage. But the beast tide will not stop because of the audience's prayers and blessings. The black line at the end of the skyline, in the blink of an eye, has turned into a terrifying black current. The beast tide is approaching. The densely packed monsters make people's scalp go numb just by looking at them. The wind is getting stronger and the rainstorm is getting worse. This moment is the darkest time since the establishment of Jiangning Base City. Just when the beast horde was about to collide head-on with the Iron Wall Army defending the outskirts of Jiangning, in the storm and darkness. In the center of Jiangning, there is a colorful beam of light as thick as a bucket, suddenly soaring into the sky, like a giant spear, piercing the sky. The next moment, the sky and black clouds pierced by this divine light were instantly scattered and pushed away. The dazzling sunlight shines through the pierced gap and hits the earth again. Then, the wind stopped suddenly. The rainstorm has stopped. When people look up at the sky again, they can see the bright sunshine and blue sky. Everyone was stunned. What the hell happened? Li Ming wiped the corners of his eyes soaked by the rainstorm and looked again at the countless ferocious beasts in the black tide outside the city. In the sunshine, the weird black mist wrapped around them, like the snow covered by the scorching sun, began to melt rapidly. The red light in their eyes receded. At the same time, the size is also shrinking. That means their levels keep dropping. It seems that the reason for this beast tide is still these weird black mist. It is these black mists that make them ferocious and brutal, and also strengthen their levels and attributes. Countless soldiers of the Iron Wall Army were extremely pleasantly surprised. The beast tide is being weakened as a whole. 019. Time goes back a little. 1 minute ago, in Lin Tian's experimental workshop, neither Su Tianlong nor Wang Zhizhong disturbed Lin Tian. They were silent. Silence. Only the sound of Lin Tian tapping and screwing. But the two were still a little restless. They stood and sat and stood, and then kept going around in circles. Wang Zhizhong also took the time to stretch his head out to look at the scene outside the workshop. This is an experimental research laboratory under the jurisdiction of the Education Department, which was originally located in the center of the downtown area. The door is a street. The street, which is usually crowded with people, is empty at the moment. The sky was raining heavily, and the top of the head was covered with black clouds, making it extremely dark. The sound of the wind blowing through the building was like the howling of a demon. The atmosphere of despair was extremely strong. However, Lin Tian's hand was very steady. He has entered an almost selfless state. The internals and core of the particle shield generator have been fully fabricated and assembled. Now the assembly of several external components is missing. Click. After a soft sound, Lin Tian let out a long breath. It's done. When Su Tianlong and Wang Zhizhong heard this, they turned around in surprise. F***K. This hour, who knows how they spend it? It's like years. They saw the props in Lin Tian's hands at a glance. It was the particle shield generator that he had just assembled, a gray spherical device with a metallic texture. It's also the size of a basketball. Before the two of them could take a closer look, the next moment, a dazzling, colorful streamer blinded the eyes of the two of them. This stream of light shot straight into the sky, causing the dense black clouds in the sky to completely dissipate. The rain stopped instantly. The sun shines. However, this is just the beginning. The next moment, the sun shone in the sky. The blue sky darkened again in an instant. However, this is not the darkness covered by black clouds and darkness, but the darkness against which the sky is full of stars. In an instant, from day to night, and then everyone witnessed the vast and bright sea of stars. It's just a matter of a moment. Then the stars swam and rearranged. An incomparably magnificent phantom of a giant god slowly emerged. This supreme phantom is exactly the same as the mythical grenade that Lin Tian created before. They are all strong and majestic. The two brightest stars form his eyes. The supreme god opened his eyes and beheld all things. The next moment, an invisible wave was transmitted to Lin Tian again. This time, perhaps because Lin Tian has already been promoted to level 5, he gradually understood some ideas conveyed to him by the Supreme Phantom. That is appreciation and encouragement. Apart from this, Lin Tian couldn't feel too many other emotions. At the moment when the Supreme Phantom appeared, the Iron Wall Army were all stupid. F***K. Come again. Isn't this the vision of heaven and earth that I just saw a few days ago? How did it appear again? The tide of beasts came to a complete standstill, and everything that was stared at by that void god would kneel down and surrender. But this time, it seems that the Iron Wall Army defending the city and the professionals have not been affected. This is actually Lin Tian's will to respond to this giant god. I saw a beast horde of as many as 300,000. All the monsters not only plummeted in level, but now they have completely become living targets. For professionals with extremely long ranges such as archers, they're even firing already. A level 30 piercing arrow shot over, directly turning rows of beasts into candied haws. What is astonishing is that even though they were pierced by arrows, these monsters seemed to be unaware, still trembling on all fours, and their bodies were shaking endlessly. Li Ming saw this scene. Understood. It should be that Lin Tian made the newly unlocked engineering blueprint creation again, which attracted another Supreme Phantom to descend. And under the shroud of the Supreme Phantom, these fierce beasts seem to be controlled. Still strong control. Even if you were shot, you won't resist and howl. This is a great opportunity. I don't know how long this phenomenon of heaven and earth will last, but there are not many chances of this kind of beast tide standing and being beaten. Li Ming didn't need to speak. The long-distance professionals in the Huban camp saw that their teammates fired with outstanding results, so they also fired. The tens of millions of viewers who followed this animal wave in the live broadcast room were all shocked. The top level of the Dongjiang military, even all the high-level members of the Dragon Kingdom, who were paying close attention to this operation to resist the beast tide, were astonished. What is that? Is it God? In this world, is there really a God? The bullet screen came like a sea wave. I can't control myself. I kneel first. I'm kneeling too. My mother asked me why I knelt down to watch the live broadcast, and then she knelt down too. It's so scary. I'm shaking all over. This is the phantom of this god I saw through the surveillance array. If I saw it at the scene, I would probably die on the spot. Is Jiangning a place of divine sanctuary? Why did this phantom of the giant god appear? On the other side, Lin Tian took the manufactured particle shield generator and walked out of the experimental workshop. Lin Tian doesn't need to test how awesome this shield generator is. He just needs to look at the attributes to understand. Lin Tian turned the corner, then entered the municipal building and took the elevator. Soon arrived at the highest point of the small town of Jiangning. That is the top floor of the municipal building. The only thing Lin Tian needs to determine now is how far his shield force field should cover, so as to cover the whole city and at the same time isolate the beast horde. Therefore, he needs to climb high and look far. After reaching the top floor, Lin Tian looked in the direction of the beast tide outside the city. The Iron Wall Army's defense line and the scene of the beast tide being controlled by the giant god phantom can be seen in full view. Lin Tian tapped somewhere on the gray iron ball in his hand. The next moment, a golden shield spread out from the center of the sphere. It covers a few meters around Lin Tian. Lin Tian pulled out another knob-style control switch and turned it clockwise a few degrees forcefully. The next moment, a golden light rushed into the sky. Then, a shield generation origin is projected in the sky. This golden origin began to emit golden light curtains outward. The light curtain began to spread at an extremely fast speed, like a big bowl. After expanding to the corresponding position, it diverged downward, covering the entire Jiangning city in an instant. Then Lin Tian made some fine-tuning. Let this golden light curtain fall right in the middle of the beast tide and the defense line of the Iron Wall army. This will not only protect everyone, but also prevent the beast tide from breaking through. 020. The supreme phantom in the sky lasted for more than 10 seconds before dissipating. The galaxy dissipated. The vision of heaven and earth converges. Countless people who watched the live broadcast were able to raise their heads and no longer had to kneel down to watch the live broadcast. However, when they looked up, they were stunned. What? From a high-altitude overlooking perspective, where did the golden holy shield covering the entire Jiangning come from? From the distant perspective, the shield force field projected from the origin of the golden shield covers the sky and blocks out the sun, like a giant golden bowl, upside down on the entire Jiangning city. The golden holy light on the shield flows continuously like a liquid. It looks unbreakable. Ho ho ho. The phantom of the giant god disappeared. The weird black cloud that was pushed to the end of the skyline struck again, filling the gap. The sun slowly disappears. Those fierce beasts who were forced to control also came to their senses. The strange black aura lingering around his body rose again, and his level began to increase slowly. The ferocious beasts at the front had gradually become manic again, letting out terrifying roars, coming towards Jiangning. However, as long as these ferocious beasts touch that thin layer of golden shield mask, they will be smashed to the ground. The faster they rush, the bigger the movement. The reaction force given by the golden shield is even more terrifying, even hitting the shield directly to death, causing the brains to flow all over the floor. It didn't affect the sturdiness of the golden shield at all. Seeing this scene, Li Meng's eyelids jumped wildly. He quickly waved his hand and ordered, "Everyone cease fire. Don't act rashly. It is strictly forbidden to use various skills. Shooting is also not allowed." Li Meng finally discovered that this shield is not only incredibly strong, but also has the characteristics of counterattack. If one's subordinates use skills rashly, and the skills are bounced back in the end, it would be really stupid to cause death or injury. Obviously this shield is to protect them, but in the end they lifted a rock and shot themselves in the foot. No wonder Lin Tian. The sky darkened again. The torrential rain poured down like a waterfall. However, not a single raindrop can fall on the heads of Jiangning people. All were isolated by this huge golden shield that covered the sky and the sun. Pacha! Boom! A purple thunder suddenly appeared from the black clouds, and it fell straight towards the municipal building, the tallest building in Jiangning. However, the moment the purple electricity touched the golden shield, it made a 180-degree turn and bounced back, hidden in the black clouds again. Gudu. Li Meng was very happy to see this scene. Fortunately, he made the people under him stop. This kind of rebounding characteristic is too against the sky. Even the thunder can fight back? And under the watchful eyes of more than 10,000 soldiers of the Iron Wall army and thousands of senior professionals, outside the shield, there was a dense wave of beasts. They went forward and continued to attack the golden shield without fear of death. However, their attacks are doomed to be in vain. Wave after wave of ferocious beasts smashed to death on Lin Tian's shield, and then turned into streaks of white light, flying towards somewhere in Jiangning City. In an instant, I felt like I was going to sacrifice my life for the country today, and became heroes of the Huban soldiers and Jiangning's high-level professionals. All lost interest. Grass. What should I do if I can't get up the fighting spirit? Sometimes being too invincible and too comfortable will make the adrenaline in the body disappear quickly. In addition, they can't shoot rashly and hurt their own people. Now I really can only hang up the phone and watch this impenetrable shield, harvesting the lives of countless beasts wantonly. But, after getting used to it, suddenly there is an inexplicable feeling of refreshment. Grass. This sense of security is directly full. Just like lying in bed on a rainy day, the sense of comfort that all threats and hazards will not hurt you will be fascinating. Lin Tian here. Lin Tian was very satisfied after seeing that the shield had been fully opened, and the Black Beast Horde could no longer invade Jiangning no matter what, because the experience outside the city is constantly flowing towards him like a stream. He only needs to hold the particle shield generator, and he can automatically hang up and level up. Cool. At this time, Su Tianlong and Wang Zhizhong also came up in the elevator together. They looked at the golden light beam released by the ball around Lin Tian, as well as the huge golden shield force field covering the whole city. They were all shocked beyond measure, especially Su Tianlong. The moment Lin Tian unlocked the blueprint of the particle shield generator, he began to imagine how outrageous it would be if Lin Tian really built this thing. Looking at it now, it is more than outrageous. This is F************ G against the sky. Not to mention anything else, just this coverage area. Compared with the limit of ordinary particle shield generators, that is, the radiation range of several meters. It's already a dimensionality reduction blow. As for Wang Zhizhong beside him, after all, he has never seen the scene of the experimental detonation of the mythical grenade created by Lin Tian. The whole Jiangning was intact, as if a god had mercifully blessed the whole city. It still shocked him a lot. OMG, this range is too big. With such a large range, I don't know how much the shield value is. Wang Zhizhong turned to be a little worried. It is true that the range is awesome enough, but everyone knows that the particle shield generator needs to consume energy after all. The larger the range covered by the divergence, the higher the shield value will be diluted. The battery life will also be shorter. Student Lin Tian, can you show me its attributes? Lin Tian nodded and ordered. You can see it, but don't move it, especially the knob switch next to it, which affects the coverage of the shield. I have adjusted it, and it can just protect the whole city. Wang Zhizhong nodded. He walked over and stretched out his hand, wanting to touch the iron ball. Because all props want to view the attributes, they must be touched. He was a little afraid of being clumsy, so he gave Lin Tian a questioning look again. That means, can I give you a hug? Lin Tian nodded. Wang Zhizhong took a deep breath and nervously took the particle shield generator handed over by Lin Tian. To Wang Zhizhong's surprise, this thing is not heavy, and it's lighter than expected. Wang Zhizhong began to check the properties of this particle shield generator. DS1 particle shield generator. Grade. Mythical grade. Level. LV5. A use. Release a particle shield field to cover all things within the range and resist the invasion of external things. Current shield value. 995 million/1 billion. Current shield value self-recovery speed. 5 million points/second. The current maximum sustainable time. 1 year. Current energy self-recovery speed. When not in use, restore 2% of the total energy every 24 hours. Optional coverage range. 1 centimeter, 100 kilometers. Special adjustment. The person who made this prop can designate and select targets that can freely shuttle inside and outside the shield during the shield generation. Special attribute. Total reflection. As long as the shield value does not fall below the critical value, 5 million points, it can reflect all attacks received. 021. Belch. Wang Zhizhong felt like he was about to have a heart attack. There was a hiccup on the spot, his center of gravity was unstable, and he was about to sit down on the ground. But he didn't forget Lin Tian's explanation. Can't touch the switch, can't touch the knob. If you break your own bones, you can't break the treasure in your hand. Ever since, Wang Zhizhong fell on his back and raised his hands high, for fear of breaking the super artifact made by Lin Tian that can protect his Jiangning for eternity. Ouch! Wang Zhizhong felt that his tailbone was going to be broken after such a fall, but he just let out a ouch, and still held the DS1 particle shield generator firmly with both hands. Su Tianlong on the side reacted so much when he saw Wang Zhizhong. It also instantly became hot. He showed Lin Tian a flattering smile, rubbed his hands together and said, Lin Tian, can you let me see its attributes too? Lin Tian tilted his head and asked back, Look, isn't it made for you to see? Su Tianlong stepped forward quickly, stretched out his hand, and touched the particle shield generator that Wang Zhizhong held as a treasure. When he sees the attributes clearly, next moment, Lin Tian heard another voice that almost recited it. The next moment, Su Tianlong, a level 60 extraordinary professional, also sat down on the ground. Wang Zhizhong showed a gloating expression. Mock-up, you claim to be well-informed, right? The attributes of this thing, you can see that you are also numb. All brothers, sit down. Su Tianlong wiped his eyes, and then carefully looked at the value in the column of shield value again. 1 billion? In just the blink of an eye, Su Tianlong saw the original number, 995 million/1 billion. Jump and change back to 1 billion/1 billion. It is normal for the shield value to be dissatisfied, because there are countless ferocious beasts attacking the shield without fear of death. But even if more than 300,000 beast hordes attacked the shield at the same time, it was only the same as the recovery speed of the shield. Grass. Only then did Su Tianlong remember. The shield generated by an ordinary particle shield generator has a fart self-recovery property, but there are mythical ones, and it's an exaggerated 5 million points per second. This means that as long as no one has been causing more than 5 million damage per second to this shield, then this shield will always be full value. Horrible. This is simply the ultimate wall of size, the absolute domain. Even more disappointing is its battery life. 1 year. For a whole year. Turn on at full power and last for 1 year. And even if it is really put on for a year and the energy is exhausted, it only takes 50 days to restore to full capacity. No recharging is required. No need to replace energy devices. Finally, there is the flexibility of coverage. The range from 1 centimeter to 100 kilometers can be adjusted at will. Su Tianlong didn't even know how to praise Lin Tian. Thousands of words. In the end, it just turned into one sentence. Lin Tian, if one day you can produce this thing, with this artifact, I can guarantee the glory of China forever and never fall. Lin Tian stood up, placed the particle shield generator in the arms of the two on a flat ground, and fixed it with 2 iron frames. He said lightly, "We'll talk about it later. We have more important things to do now. The beast horde will not disappear by itself." After being reminded by Lin Tian, Su Tianlong and Wang Zhizhong suddenly realized, yeah, no time to marvel here. The beast tide is still an urgent problem to be solved. Even if thousands of ferocious beasts smashed to death on this wall of size every minute, the efficiency was too slow, waiting for them to crash and die one by one. It will take years of donkeys and months of horses. The question now is, how do they deal with so many beast hordes? Wang Zhizhong thought for a moment, and then said, "Wait for the reinforcements. There are still 40 to 50 minutes, and the first batch of reinforcements should arrive soon. Lin Tian, you can control who can pass through the shield. Let the soldiers of the Huban camp defending the city cooperate with the reinforcements who came to help, and attack back and forth, and the beast horde will be resolved." Wang Zhizhong's idea is very good. It is also a tactic that most commanders can think of. However, Lin Tian shook his head. "I have already created the strongest shield that can protect everyone 100%. Why should I take the risk of injuring or even killing them? I want to solve this animal horde crisis without injury." Lin Tian's words were amazing. Su Tianlong opened his mouth. He never thought that Lin Tian's real purpose was this. Yes, no one wants bloodshed and sacrifices. But in war there is bound to be bloodshed and sacrifice. This is the Iron Law. Is Lin Tian's thinking too naive? Su Tianlong persuaded. "Student Lin Tian, your starting point is good. No one wants to see our people or reinforcements get injured or even die because of this. But they are soldiers, ready to die for their country. Lin Tian, you have done a good enough job. You have saved millions of citizens and countless families in Jiangning. And those fighters can also get shelter and recuperate in your shield. And the casualties in this battle will definitely be minimized. What's more, dying on the battlefield is also their lifelong pursuit, and the place where they demonstrate their value." Lin Tian's eyes turned cold. "Why die if you can live? I never think that a heroic sacrifice is a reflection of the value of a fighter. If he survives, he will kill more enemies and contribute more to victory. Life is the most precious thing. Even if you think it is great to give your life for a noble goal, there are even a group of people who think like you. What about your family? What about your lover? What about your children? Are you worthy of them? So, unless there is no other way out, I really can only recommend Xinyuan with blood. Otherwise, I don't want to see anyone die. I have a plan." At the end, Su Tianlong felt a little embarrassed. His thinking is the thinking of ordinary people, and he believes that sacrifice and dedication are heroic and worthy of praise. But Lin Tian analyzed this matter from a higher perspective and pattern. That's right, who hasn't cared about people, just died like this, leaving these people with endless pain. If you cannot die, you can be harmless. You must pursue harmlessness. It will take me half a day to make a particle shield generator. But to make a mythical grenade, I only need 1 minute. So, please help me find materials. Lin Tian said so. Su Tianlong opened his mouth wide. F***K. 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 Why didn't he think of this? They still have big killers in their hands. And this time, if the mythical grenade is directly detonated, will Jiangning still suffer a little damage when the particle shield generator continues to work? This is simply the strongest spear and the strongest shield. It's just that this time the contradictions are not opposite. They have both. Absolutely. Lin Tian is a genius-level idea. 022. Su Tianlong didn't know how to vent his excitement. He could only quickly ask Lin Tian what materials he needed, and he used a few flashes on the spot and went to help Lin Tian prepare the materials at the speed of light. After more than 10 minutes, Lin Tian saw 7 or 8 soldiers in the armor of the Huban camp coming to his experimental workshop with a cart of materials. The person in the lead is Sun Sheng, who had met Lin Tian several times before. Sun Shengli stood upright, saluted Lin Tian, and said with a smile, "Brother Lin Tian, we have prepared the materials you want." The material that Lin Tian asked Su Tianlong this time was inflated, because he wanted to make a few more grenades and store some on his body for self-defense. But unexpectedly, with the joint help of Li Ming, Wang Zhizhong, and Su Tianlong, the 3 giants of Jiangning and Ningxia, just bring all the inventory to Lin Tian. Looking at the materials in this small cart, Lin Tian was also a little embarrassed. Brother, can you help me move it? There are too many. I can't move it." Sun Sheng, "No problem. Listen to what our boss said. The shield that protects us is made by you. We have good arms and legs. No injuries, no deaths, thank you. What's the matter with you in the future? In a word, we people will go through fire and water, and we will do whatever we want. The army is the most loyal place." After Su Tianlong met Li Ming, he directly said Lin Tian's plan and his original words. "I'm so moved by Li Ming." Sun Sheng, standing beside him, was also deeply touched. Lin Tian's words really hit their hearts. For the sake of righteousness, of course they can die on the battlefield. But the softness in my heart is the family and children after all. This is the only regret. But Lin Tian was able to put himself in their shoes and think for them. That is really a bosom friend. Faced with Lin Tian's life-saving grace, Sun Sheng immediately agreed. "And do what you say." In the future, when Lin Tian asked him to go up the mountain of swords and down into the sea of fire, he would not even say a word of no. After helping Lin Tian move all the materials into the workshop, Sun Sheng and others retreated and stood guard in front of the laboratory. The order they received was that they would do what Lin Tian said. Now, viewers watching the live broadcast, his expression became weird. They feel that their worldview has been somewhat impacted. What kind of defensive formation is this? It's so stable. I think it has been impacted by the beast tide for a while. The shield doesn't even fluctuate. I don't know how much shield value it has. Grass, I feel that if this shield can be maintained forever, this beast tide will not be a problem at all. It shouldn't be possible. There are too many beast hordes. A 3rd-level beast horde. What kind of defensive formation can last for such a long time? I checked. Jiangning is just a 3rd-level base city. Will there be such a high-strength defense formation? Is it possible? Is Jiangning a place of divine sanctuary? It's nonsense. There are only 4 god sanctuary places in the whole world, and in our Dragon Kingdom, only the base city of Tsufu, which is protected by Confucius, is the god sanctuary place. What kind of god is covering Jiangning? The audience is just watching for fun, and the high-level officials of the Dongjiang Provincial Education Department, the military, and the Professionals Alliance, who were concerned about this animal horde. Already silly. They are even ready to be implicated by the Jiangning beast tide and be punished. Who knew that this battle never started at all? The holy light fell from the sky, directly protecting the whole Jiangning in it. If it is not known that Jiangning was founded less than 50 years ago, there is a fart of historical inheritance and myths and legends. They all have to wonder if Jiangning is really a place of God's sanctuary. After all, the phantom of the giant god plus the holy shield of the whole city seems too exaggerated. More than 20 minutes passed. Under the escort of Sun Sheng and others, Lin Tian pulled a cart of things covered with white cloth back to his base camp outside Jiangning City. Li Ming saw Lin Tian. "I really can't wait to rush up and kiss him." Lin Tian is really too angry with him. The brain turns quickly, and the things are done neatly without ink marks. The most important thing is that he can see that Lin Tian is a grateful person, and the way he repays himself, Su Tianlong and others, is the way he is now. With his mythical talent, let this battle be harmless. "Brother Ming, I still want to lend you some drones. For cleaning." Lin Tian said clean up. Naturally, it refers to the beast tide all over the sky. Li Ming was taken aback for a moment, and then he noticed a cart of things covered with white cloth beside Lin Tian. Brother Lin, these are? He was a little unsure what these things were. However, when Li Ming lifted the white cloth and saw what was inside, the whole person was frightened. Those are dozens of black lacquered grenades. Don't think about it. These must not be ordinary grenades. This is a mythical grenade. It's just that more than 20 minutes have passed. How could Lin Tian do it so quickly? In fact, Lin Tian underestimated the speed at which he could recreate props that he had already made. Practice makes perfect. He now does not need 1 minute to assemble a mythical grenade. It can be done in half a minute. Coupled with the full warehouse of materials provided by Li Ming and others, Lin Tian was able to produce so many in such a short period of time. Li Ming's eyelids twitched wildly, almost lost his composure in front of his subordinates. Others don't know what these things are. They only know that they are grenades. But Li Ming knew. What the hell is a grenade? These are dozens of big Ivans. Li Ming couldn't help smacking his lips when he remembered that the Fong Fong swamp had completely shattered and disappeared. He has to think about how to store this stuff. Otherwise, if they bump into each other, the whole of Jiangning, well, maybe even several base cities around Jiangning will go to heaven. Brother Lin, you can't use so much, can you? Lin Tian, be prepared. Soon, someone sent Lin Tianyao drone over. This time Lin Tian intends to control the drone to throw mines by himself. These beast tides are also experience. There are so many monsters, enough to upgrade to the first job change at the speed of light. Under Li Ming's guidance, Lin Tian quickly became familiar with the control methods of these drones. To be honest, there is almost no difference from the drone control method in the previous life. Even more foolish. Just like playing games, there are arrow keys for up, down, left, and right, and a joystick for lifting and lowering. Lin Tian equipped the drone with 5 mythical grenades. Then he manipulated it to fly high into the sky, passing through the golden light shield with ease. This is also set by Lin Tian in advance. He is the maker of the shield generator, so he can naturally choose to let the drone pass. Li Ming watched the drone fly to the designated height, and through the monitoring array, he found that the position was just in the center of the beast horde, which could cause the greatest damage. Brother Lin, it's done. After speaking, Li Ming rushed out of the command room in a hurry, shouting at his soldiers with all his strength. Everyone obey orders. If you don't want to be blind, close your eyes. 023. Shields block damage, but it couldn't block the glare. At this moment, everyone remembered the day when they were ruled by that dazzling mushroom cloud. Then, not afraid of death, he closed his eyes and even lowered his head not to look. Those who reacted a little slower were still thinking about why their boss told them to close their eyes and not look. Slap. In the command room, Lin Tian pressed the release button. On the drone in the sky, the first-placed grenade fell from the sky. The grenade itself is black, and it is extremely inconspicuous in the dark environment right now, and its size is only the size of an egg. No beast cared about this little thing, until it hit the head of some unlucky beast. Next moment, centered on the point of collision, terrible explosions occur. A ball of absolute death light hundreds of meters in diameter appeared. The inside of the light sphere is the core point of the explosion. All the substances in it are instantly dismantled, stripped, and broken down to the molecular level by ultra-high temperature and ultra-high energy. Completely evaporates and disappears. The audience watching the live broadcast didn't have anyone to give them a friendly reminder. Almost instantly, this group of bright lights blinded everyone's eyes. The entire screen was blank. The boundary between heaven and earth was completely blurred. The moment of the explosion was extremely precise. However, the next second, boom. The terrible sound waves hit like a mountain roar and a tsunami. The strong light and loud noise directly frighten the audience, who are a little weaker to death. Everyone is waiting for the glare to dissipate. However, they couldn't wait. Wearing sunglasses, Lin Tian checked the value of the particle shield generator remotely. After the first mythical grenade detonated, the shock wave and aftermath of the explosion quickly impacted the golden shield. Lin Tian clearly saw that the shield value was reduced by about 20 million at that moment, and the total shield value is 1 billion. Facts have proved that my calculation is not wrong. The shield generated by the LV5 particle shield generator can withstand the explosion of my own LV1 mythical grenade. Moreover, for the damage of about 20 million, for the shield, it only takes 4 seconds to repair it. Lin Tian is at this moment suddenly felt the pleasure called rapid killing. You just need to move your fingers. In a few seconds, thousands of monsters will be blown into flying ash in an instant. He seems to be an emperor. Life and death are all in one thought. This exciting feeling made Lin Tian continue to control the drone and fly to several other directions. He didn't give the beast tide any chance to react and adjust. In the other three most densely populated areas, 3 mythical grenades were dropped in a row. The strong light is connected into one piece. The roar was like a terrible war drum, beating hard on everyone's heart. The screen that had just dimmed was followed by terrifying roars. The white flowers made everyone feel lonely watching the live broadcast. For mythical grenades went down. The world was a vast expanse. There was no other sound but the terrible explosion. Fortunately, Lin Tian confirmed that the essence of his mythical grenade explosion is different from nuclear weapons. Otherwise, now he has to worry about whether he will be killed by radiation sickness. The bright light lasted for several minutes, until the soldiers of the Huban camp, who lowered their heads and covered their eyes, felt that their necks were all over. The first wave of violent glare completely dissipated. Look up. Enter the first screen. It was the golden shield in front of them that they were surprised to find. Still strong. The terrible explosion impact seems to be unable to affect it at all. Steady as Mount Tai. Shock waves, air waves, and heat currents, which would cause serious harm to ordinary people, are completely isolated. Everyone didn't even feel a breeze just now. Then there is the beast tide. The densely packed, hideous beasts before. Gone. All gone. Not even scum left. At least as far as they could see, they could no longer see any ferocious beast that could stand safely under the aftermath of this level of destruction. Gongzi was also in this group of soldiers. He was sure that the explosion this time was almost exactly the same as the last one, only more often. Last time, thanks to Lin Tian's blessing, he harvested a large wave of experience points from the Fang Swamp monsters. It directly made him soar more than 10 levels in that instant. Don't underestimate the more than 10 levels. That's because Gongzi itself has level 45, and the average level of monsters in Fang Swamp is around 25. Punished with experience. But even so, he still soared 14 levels. Just one step away, you will reach the threshold of transcendence. That is to say, his level is not enough to know Lin Tian's top secret talent. Otherwise, he would have to kowtow to Lin Tian. Of course, this time Lin Tian also enjoyed the pleasure that Gongzi had experienced before. Almost within seconds of the explosion, Lin Tian saw countless streams of experience light flying out of the sky. These streams of light gathered together and directly turned into a terrifying beam of light 5 or 6 meters thick. Give Lin Tian an experience empowerment directly. Ding, 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 ding. 5 consecutive golden lights burst out from Lin Tian's body instantly. Lin Tian himself didn't know how much experience he had gained. It's just a pity for him. The threshold for one turn is level 10. That is to say, he cannot continue to upgrade without passing the first rank task. So after Lin Tian reached level 10, he did not continue to upgrade. At the same time, Lin Tian also received a system prompt from the Godstone who changed his job. Let him go to pick up the mission. The live broadcast screen was finally no longer a vast expanse of whiteness, when everyone can see the picture clearly. For terrifying mushroom clouds and huge fireballs that symbolize absolute death rushed to the sky. 4 terrifying pits appeared on the ground outside Jiangning City. Flowers and trees, everything was razed to the ground. The smoke cleared, and the 300,000 beasts besieged Jiangning City disappeared. Only the area a little farther from the nuclear explosion site. Only then can you see the smoking stumps and broken arms of sporadic ferocious beasts. What about Jiangning City? Everyone thought that under such a terrifying explosion, Jiangning City must no longer exist. However, they still saw the harmonious and peaceful town under the protection of that golden shield. One brick at a time, one family at a time. Unscathed. What it was like before the beast tide happened, it is what it is now. Li Ming, standing in front of the line of defense, burst into tears. It's over. The beast tide is over. They have created since the beginning of the age of cataclysm. A miracle that no one has ever created. It is a miracle that no one was killed or injured in the 3rd level beast horde. This day will definitely be recorded in the history of the Dragon Kingdom and even the entire human race. 024. From issuing animal tide alerts. Then they plucked up their courage and planned to build the Great Wall with flesh and blood and fight to the death against the beast horde. Up to now, everyone in their Huban camp has not died in battle. Not even a minor injury. Only 1 hour and 27 minutes have passed. Li Ming pinched his watch. This means that even the Cloud Cavalry troops sent by the Great Wall Army for reinforcements will take at least half an hour to reach Jiangning. And the beast tide is over. They have achieved complete victory. Li Ming was so excited that he was speechless. But he still ordered his subordinates. Release the announcement of the beast tide. Let the citizens go home. At this moment, Li Ming still felt like a dream. It was like an unreal dream. Su Tianlong and Wang Zhizhong also felt pain. The 10,000 Huban soldiers and the 3,000 temporarily recruited Jiangning professionals also felt that they were living in a dream. They didn't realize it until the moment when the announcer was crying with joy on the radio in the whole city. It's really over. Not a dream. Dear citizens, the beast horde has been completely wiped out. The beast tide alarm has been lifted. Everyone can evacuate from the underground bunker in an orderly manner and go home. Jiangning, safe and sound. We have won a complete victory. Agitated people ran out of the underground bunker one by one. They saw familiar streets, familiar residential areas. Nothing has changed. Except for the origin of the golden shield on the sky, there is no difference between Jiangning and Beast Chaoqian. My home is still there. My loved ones are still there. My friends and kids are there. At this moment, everyone wept with joy. They cheered, roared, and roared out of the underground bunker. Celebrate yourself for surviving this level of natural disaster intact. Even strangers who don't know each other, this moment is filled with a certain touch and joy. They hug each other and encourage each other. Snapped. The soldiers of the Huban camp who had been protecting Lin Tian's father, Lin Zhenhua, all had tears in their eyes. After saluting Lin Tian's father, they retreated first. They are not on the front lines, but their hearts have already gone to the front line. Now they are very worried about whether their former comrade-in-arms, Pao Zhe, has died with honor. However, what awaits them is only joy and carnival. This moment, and even a long time later, Jiangning is a small town full of peace, tranquility, and joy. After more than 10 minutes, Lin Zhenhua got his wish and met his worried son in a secret room in the city hall. Lin Zhenhua's eyes were red, since his wife, Lin Tian's mother, left him. His only concern in this world is his own son. A few days ago, after learning that my son had awakened to a career in life, Lin Zhenhua's surface is full of joy. After all, at least his son is not an ordinary person like him. But in my heart, I felt extremely guilty. He blamed himself for being a waste, not a professional, and failing to pass on better genes to his son. Let him also become a main combat professional. So he can only work desperately, even if he can earn a little more money. It will be good for his son to study in the logistics department of a third-rate extraordinary academy. Lin Zhenhua hugged Lin Tian into his arms, and he hugged him tightly. I am afraid of losing the last concern in my life. Lin Tian's eye circles were also red. He suppressed his sore nose and showed off to his old father. Dad, maybe I don't believe it. It was your son who saved the entire Jiangning. I was the one who resolved the beast horde crisis in Jiangning, without even one death and one injury. Lin Zhenhua let go of his son's hand and said solemnly, Xiaotian, this is the credit of those Iron Wall Army. You can't talk nonsense. They have been protecting me, and they are probably protecting you too. How can you say that? Standing behind Lin Tian and watching, Li Ming felt that he really couldn't afford to lose this person. At this moment, he took off his military uniform and iron armor, and changed into a formal dress of the Dragon Kingdom's army. He has a straight posture and a military rank on his shoulders. They walked in front of Lin Zhenhua and Lin Tian together, and saluted Lin Tian and Lin Zhenhua in unison. Li Ming said guiltily, Brother Lin, I'll just call you Big Brother. What little brother Lin Tian said is true. The smooth resolution of the animal horde crisis is really not our credit. On the contrary, we achieved a perfect victory with 0 casualties, thanks to your child's outstanding contribution. Lin Zhenhua was stunned. He didn't understand the situation at the moment. Because of the protection of your child and the confidentiality regulations involving top-secret talents, I have no way to explain to you what Lin Tian has done here. There is no way for him to get the honor he deserves under the spotlight and the attention of thousands of people. But he's a hero. Your child is a hero. A real hero who saved a city by himself. Even if we die 100 times, we are not enough to repay the hero. Even if Lin Tian wants to tell his father what talent he is, that should be what he said himself. It was not Li Ming's turn to speak. So, he can only do this. And that's enough. Lin Zhenhua actually felt it. He felt that his child had grown up, but what he didn't expect was that at some point, Lin Tian had already become a towering giant tree. He didn't need his protection at all, but it was an existence he wanted to admire. My son is a hero. Haha, okay, shout Eon, you are a good guy. Lin Jinhua really wept. Parents in the world, who doesn't want their children to become talents? At this time, Su Tianlong and Wang Zhizhong, who were standing aside, also came up. Wang Zhizhong, the city chief and chairman of the alliance, extended his hand to shake Lin Jinhua's hand. Mr. Lin Jinhua, thank you for helping us Jiangning and helping Longhua cultivate such a genius. Although in order to protect Lin Tian and prevent him from being targeted by people with ulterior motives prematurely, we cannot commend his achievements in public, but the rewards that should be given will not be missed. Mr. Lin Jinhua, here is the three-dimensional view of the villas in Yiping Jiangshan, the best residential area in Jiangning. You can choose a favorite one as your new home for you and Lin Tian. You can choose to rent or sell the old house. Furniture and decoration follow up. You can also choose the style you like at will. In addition, there are 10 million dragon coins in this card. Don't rush to say no and don't be afraid. You and your kids really deserve this. Even, we still feel very guilty because our Jiangning is not a big place. You also know that the talents training benefits and rewards given to us by the provincial department have to be reviewed layer by layer. This is already the limit of what I can apply for. This is just our Jiangning city's reward for you and your child. The follow-up provincial and national rewards still have to wait for some procedures. Don't worry, we will continue to work hard. Everyone in Lin Jinhua was dumbfounded. Su Tianlong stepped forward at this time and continued to output. Mr. Lin, I am the director of the education department. Lin Tian's talent is in line with our country's very special talent training treatment. You don't have to worry about Lin Tian's further education. He must be in the top schools in the country. The meat and potatoes I want. Li Ming coughed at this time. He gave Su Tianlong a hard look, then bent forward and shook hands with Lin Jinhua, and said seriously, a good man should join the army to serve the motherland. Brother Lin, don't worry. If Brother Lin intends to join the army, our military also has several military academies. With his talent and psychological quality, you can rest assured. I can assure you that when he comes out of the military academy, his military rank will be higher than mine. It can be split into 2 chapters, but considering the fluency of reading, I will post them together. But today is still 5 chapters update. Another chapter tonight. Old author, new book. New book needs pampering. Readers are also invited to throw more flowers and vote. It would be even better to have monthly tickets and tips. Grateful. 025. Lin Jinhua felt a little out of breath. What I saw in front of me was the mayor of Jiangning City. Standing next to the mayor is the director of education. Then the heroic man in military uniform is the commander of the Huban Battalion of the Iron Wall Army stationed in Jiangning. These 3 people are the embodiment of the highest power and power in the entire Jiangning city. However, the promise they made to themselves, the promise to Lin Tian. Lin Jinhua only wondered if his child had any succubus talent, but in such a short period of time, all 3 such powerful bosses became his supporters. Lin Jinhua's hands were in the air, and he didn't dare to pick up the card and the 3-dimensional picture of the villa group handed over by Wang Zhizhong. He has worked hard all his life in the mine, and he may not even be able to earn 1 square meter of that villa. How dare he imagine that he really lived in it? What's more, the 10 million dragon coins in the bank card is a huge sum of money that can buy 5 or 6 villas like this. The purchasing power of the current global currency is stronger than that of Lin Tian, because there are fewer people and fewer resources. The currency circulation is extremely low, so not to mention 10 million dragon coins, even 1 million is a huge sum that most main combat professionals can hardly reach in their lifetime. Lin Jinhua didn't dare to answer, but Lin Tian dared. He reached out and took the black card and the floor plan of the villa, and said to his father, Dad, let's resign from your current job tomorrow. The 10 million is what your son earned for you to take care of, and I want to repay you for your kindness and nurturing. As for these big villas, those mercenary people can live in them. Why can't we live in them? Lin Tian is a straightforward person, and he doesn't think that he has taken too much of these rewards. He is not hypocritical. These are indeed what I deserve. If I put on a show and half push and half give up, I may make Su Tianlong and others look down on me. Sure enough, after Lin Tian received these rewards, he could clearly see that Su Tianlong, Wang Zhizhong and others breathed a sigh of relief. If they don't pick it up, they may still think wildly whether the things they gave are not good enough. Did it make Lin Tian dissatisfied? Li Ming also showed a smile and invited Lin Tian. Brother Lin, our whole battalion is holding a celebration banquet to celebrate our great victory and to celebrate that we have not lost any siblings. Have you ever eaten roasted whole wolf? Let me tell you it's F asterisk 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 G delicious. It's mainly because the group of my subordinates who are close to me basically know that this time it's your credit. Of course, I didn't talk nonsense about your talent. By the way, there are female soldiers in our battalion. I'm not much older than you, and my figure is so hot. It's just that my temper is a bit hot, huh? Speaking of excitement, Li Ming, an old bachelor, also blushed, obviously full of enthusiasm. At the same time, it is hundreds of kilometers away from Jiangning. A group of 3,000 elite Great Wall troops riding on creatures that looked like eagles and lions, and wearing black armor similar to the standard of the Huban camp, flew in the sky at extreme speed. The headed one had a dark face and was as strong as an iron tower. Despite the strong wind at high altitude, he was still able to encourage the soldiers behind him with a full voice. Accelerate! Accelerate! Accelerate again! Jiangning's brothers are waiting for our help. If we arrive 1 minute earlier, we can save hundreds more people. The black-faced strong man headed by him was named Zhang Peng, the commander of the Yunqi Battalion of the Dongjiang Great Wall Army. The army under his command is small, only 3,000 people, but they are all military elites. The mounts they ride on are also specially tamed flying creatures called griffins. This is also the origin of the name of this army. Riding a griffin can greatly enhance their mobility. Coupled with the blessing of the flying speed rune and the wind mage, the distance of thousands of kilometers can be reached in less than an hour. So in fact, Zhang Peng planned to surprise Li Ming, a fellow soldier and old comrade in arms. They can arrive in Jiangning at least 10 minutes earlier. After a few minutes, Zhang Peng had already seen the shadow of the city at the end of the horizon. He is already level 90, not far from the 100th level of the 4th turn. He is stronger than most extraordinary people, so his eyesight is extremely strong, and he can see things in the distance. He was overjoyed. This at least shows that Jiangning is not that bad. At least the city was not completely destroyed by the beast horde. You can still see the silhouette. It's just that Zhang Peng was a little puzzled. In the far distance above Jiangning, there seems to be a layer of golden light. It may be that the flying is too fast, and I am dazzled. However, when the distance shortens rapidly, not only Zhang Peng, but the other cloud cavalry behind him at this moment also saw the golden light shield over Jiangning. Is this Jiangning's defensive formation? Even the Great Wall Army didn't popularize the defense formation on a large scale. It's not that he looks down on Jiangning, but if there is such a big city defense formation, the country must use it on the tip of the knife. Obviously, it will equip the Great Wall Army first. How could it be the turn of a small Jiangning? However, when Zhang Peng approached the sky over Jiangning, others are completely stupid. What about the beast tide? Didn't it say that Jiangning encountered a third-level beast swarm that happened once in decades, and the number of beast swarms exceeded 300,000? Why did he only see 4 huge pits and a small number of beast corpses? F asterisk asterisk K. The beast tide is over? What the hell happened? Zhang Peng was a little unbelievable. He rode a griffin and flew around Jiangning. Don't talk about beast tide. Not even half of the animal hair was seen. What a bloody hell. However, Zhang Peng also discovered that this golden light shield completely blocked their entry. They are allies. It's reinforcements. What's going on with the direct refusal from outside the city? Zhang Peng is also short-tempered, and most of the anxiety that used to be full of him has now turned into anger. This Li Ming will not lie about the military situation, right? Impossible. He wouldn't even dare to give him 10 guts. At this moment, the soldiers of the Huban camp, who had set up camp just below, also saw the cloud cavalry army flying in the sky. Li Ming raised his head and saw the leader Zhang Peng at a glance. Haha, old Zhang. Long time no see. Come down quickly. We are having a celebration banquet. Come quickly, good wine, good food and good meat are enough. Bring your cloud cavalry army with you. Zhang Peng was about to explode. I'm running so F asterisk 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 G thousands of miles to help. I'm almost holding back my urine. You put a celebration banquet here.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card, directly on my channel, or right here on the screen. And as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to share it in the comments too.